family has got the strength to bear this terrible, irreparable loss, actually. So grieved and so sorry. Because, I mean, as we all know, the one thing 100% true is that, and certain, is that when you're born, you have to die. But the kind of people, there are certain people who, who've left behind such fantastic footprints in the sand that, it's really, really sad. May his soul rest in peace. The legacy of perfect timing for comedy as well, besides his other role. He was just fantastic, really.
He wasn't just the He-Man or the action hero, Ms. Utthav. He was also known for his romantic action, for romantic acting and comic timing, like you rightly mentioned. What was your favorite movie? How do you remember him as far as one of his favorite roles are concerned?
I would say definitely Chupke Chupke and Sholay, of course, Sholay. And just 50 years, and I'm so sad because we had a celebration in Calcutta for the Stagecraft Awards, where we kind of give awards to all the technicians, and we had dedicated this whole award function to Sholay and the 50 years of Sholay. And, it's right from day one we wanted him to be there, but then, his health just deteriorated and we couldn't. But the spirit of Dharmendra was all over the stage, and of course, we had Mr. Sippy over there, and his mother had also come. It was fantastic, and, everybody had such wonderful things to say about him. And, really marvelous.
Well, thank you so much, Ms. Usha Utthav, for sharing your thoughts on Dharmendra. I'm also joined by actor Raza Murad here with me. Mr. Murad, this is a day that we are remembering Dharmendra very fondly over here, remembering all the roles and movies that he had done. But over here, as one of, perhaps a viewer, as a fan, how do you remember him, Mr. Murad?
It has been a very long association with Mr. Dharmendra, and I'm very fortunate. I had the opportunity to work with Mr. Dharmendra in 26 movies. So it has been a very rewarding experience indeed to, know him and as a actor as well as a person. So I have a lot of memories, a lot of fond memories. And he was a complete man. He was a complete man from all the aspects. A versatile actor, a very doting and disciplined father, a very friend who would protect his friends. And he had an open heart. So his achievements are just unparalleled. The amount of work which he has done, the amount of different roles which he has portrayed. And besides that, the most popular person I've ever come across in the film industry was Garam. So it was a rather feast to co-star with him. And he has achieved so much that I think nobody else would have
absolutely,
exactly the dizzy heights which he has covered. No one else can even dream about it. When Rajesh Khanna was at his prime, all the leading men were they just disappeared. But it was only Dharmendra who stood like a rock of Gibraltar in Rajesh Khanna era. He gave films consequently in a calendar year, 8 hit films in the Rajesh Khanna era. he was a man, an actor, a person par excellence. He's just incomparable. You cannot compare Dharam. An innocent man. He was a farmer, with a farmer at heart, who used to always talk about his school days, his farm in Punjab, his classmates, his teachers. He had excellent memory. He knew all his classmates by their names, and he was a very emotional person who could cry at the drop of a hat. He was so emotional person. He had a tough exterior, but from outside he was Garam Dharam, but from inside he was Naram Dharam, Naram Dil Kaam the, very soft-hearted person. So he will be missed, and nobody can replace his achievements, his popularity. No one can. No one can see the era of 65 years which he has seen without a downfall. Unparalleled. He was unparalleled.
Memories that you've shared over there, Mr. Murad, but as far as viewers and fans are concerned, we have all known him as the actor on screen. You've known him personally. You've mentioned about how he never let the roots of his farming days or his farming legacy get disconnected. How do you remember him as a friend, someone as a person, over and beyond the persona of being an actor? Mr. Murad, are you still with us? Can you hear me? Well, that was actor Raza Murad fondly remembering how he was the only actor who managed to give blockbuster hits even at a Rajesh Khanna era. He also said how he had an excellent memory. He remembered all the experiences and stories from the time that he went to a small school in Punjab, and he never disconnected his roots as a farmer. He was always generous at that. And right now it's important for me to also tell the viewers that the Prime Minister has tweeted saying that the passing of Dharmendra ji marks the end of an era in Indian cinema. He was an iconic film personality, a phenomenal actor who brought charm and depth to every role he played. The manner in which he played diverse roles struck a chord with countless people. Dharmendra ji was equally admired for his simplicity, humility and warmth. And in this hour, we stand with the family and friends and innumerable fans. Om Shanti. And ladies and gentlemen, on your screens is that poster of 21 that was released only today. It is going to be the last movie that Dharmendra had done. We are definitely putting across all the live visuals on your screens right now, which we are getting from the Ville Parle crematorium. The Prime Minister mourns the demise of legendary actor Dharmendra, who passed away a few days before his 90th birthday. He was 89, and a few days ago he was rushed to the hospital, but soon after brought back home. He did battle for the last few days before he rests in peace. Mr. Bankade continues to be with us. Mr. Bankade, we were listening to what Raza Murad had to say. Very interesting, where he mentioned that how he was the only actor to be able to stand strong and perhaps weather the winds as far as Rajesh Khanna era is concerned. Rajesh Khanna was another star of his time, and to be able to deliver hits at a time when the raging superstar was Rajesh Khanna, that definitely is commendable. Mr. Bankade, request you to kindly unmute yourself about how Dharmendra prevailed despite having Rajesh Khanna as the superstar of the times.
Yeah, because when Rajesh Khanna was a superstar, he gave 22 consecutive super hits. And that was a time when everybody every star, everybody was talking about Rajesh Khanna, all the directors were following him. And at that time also, Dharmendra was consistent with his films. He was doing Fandebaz, he was doing Azad, he was doing Shalimar, he was doing all those sort of films which were actually at the same time when Rajesh Khanna films were hit. So the only consistent star other than Rajesh Khanna at that time was Dharmendra. So his legacy of from black and white to color to solo hero to multi-starrer, he was always there. He was giving consistent hits. So because of his choice of the subjects, I still remember it was Rajesh Khanna's time, even when the films like Jugnu was super hit. So Rajesh Khanna was on a different league, but Dharmendra was always there. He was always giving super hits. He was doing experiments. He was doing multi-starrer films. So Dharmendra was somebody who was never out of the filmdom, out of the stardom. He was always there. He was choosing right script. He was working in all sort of films. He was director's delight to work, and he was experimenting. That was his strength.
But like Mr. Murad was also mentioning, Mr. Wankade, is that he was an emotional person who never really disconnected from his roots in Punjab as a farmer. And that is the reason why he always remained humble despite the super hits and the blockbusters that he delivered. He never let it get to his mind. He always remained true to himself.
That is what the real actors are made of. They are emotional. Emotions are what they are known for. And Dharmendra was very much raw. That's why I said that he didn't have the system which will, the image making system or a reputation management system or a public relations system or a social management system. He was true to himself. He was there doing his unedited videos, talking to the press, talking to people, giving photographs without any filters. That value, that rawness, that realness of a man is what Dharmendra was, and that is what was the connect between a common man and Dharmendra. That's why people loved him, because people thought that we can become like him. That's why every other Punjabi actor who used to come to Mumbai, it was his moral responsibility or a duty to go and meet Mr. Dharmendra. He was that popular. So yes, he was raw, he was very real, and that was the quality which was able to connect with the normal film goers.
Absolutely. But as far as his craft is also concerned, what sort of a man was he? Did he let the directors and the filmmakers, call the shots? Did he participate with his views on certain projects and certain movies? If you know of any of these anecdotes, Mr. Wankade, please do share with us.
He was very open about it. He was it was Rishikesh Mukherjee's film Anand, actually, which was supposed to be with him, because it was the director, he narrated him the story while he was traveling with him in the flight. And then suddenly he came to know that film, Anand, is being done by Rajesh Khanna. So he was not happy about it. He was vocal about it. He said that the entire narration was with me and I wanted to do this film. So that was how he was. And when he was, even when he was working on various projects, like when he was doing comedy in Chupke Chupke, or he was doing comedy in Naukar Bibi Ka. Even in Sholay, when he was doing comedy, he was more of a director's man. Like in Sita or Geeta, there are two stars other than Hema Malini, Dharmendra as well as Sanjay Kumar. But both are underrated in that film because it was Hema Malini's film. So he used to give that scope also, that space also to his co-stars. And what he was always a director's actor. If director says, then he will follow it. Obviously, he will have his own inputs, and his inputs were is more of a craft related because he was not a great academician or a method actor type of actor. He was more of somebody who understood the craft while doing his work. He was somebody who respected that craft. He was a great follower of and a great huge fan of Dilip Kumar. So he used to look up to him, and he used to have a great relationship with the best of the people in the industry. Like he was very close to Meena Kumari. He learned that craft. He was very close to Gulzar Saab. He was close to Arjun Himurani Saab, the director.
Was with several of these people from the industry, the filmmakers, the directors, which transcended beyond just a working relationship, and that's exactly what he's being remembered for. My colleague Sakshi continues to be with us. So Sakshi, very interesting what he mentions over here, Mr. Vankade, is that as far as Anand was concerned, the initial narration was given to Dharmendra, and he was vocal about making his disappointment as far as not being casted thereafter is concerned. Take us through, what are you hearing about the industry coming together right now in this hour of crisis, as we are putting these visuals together, how fondly they are remembering the most loved actor of the industry right now?
Like I've been saying, Samya, this is the kind of void that nobody can fill, and this is going to stay in our heart forever. You know, you and I, we are fans, we have seen his movies, but these actors who are going to pay their last tributes to legendary Dharmendra ji, the He-Man of Bollywood, they knew him personally. Like Girish has also been speaking about some personal anecdotes that he has shared on sets with Dharam ji, and, you know, sharing so many years of professional years with him also. The Anand incident that you have just mentioned, Samya, as much as I knew about the working style of Dharamji, it was, I've always heard the great things from the directors. He was not a pen paper guy. He was not somebody who used to follow the script to the T. He was somebody, and it came with the years of experience by being part of so many franchises, that too successful ones, so many projects. It came with the expertise to Dharamji that he was very vocal about making some suggestions, be it to the director, be it to the writer, be it to the co-stars. Even if he had a very small role to play in that movie, he was always there to advise people, to teach people, and that is why people were very close to him. They never took it to their ego that, you know, why Dharamji is telling us he is not playing our character, he is not playing our role. People used to go to him to seek advice. He was also, Samya, since we are speaking about his health, this is something very surprising that a man like him had to suffer from health ailments, because he was very fit. Even in his late years, we used to see him posting pictures of him doing the water yoga, water sports. He was a gym lover as well. He was often spotted at gym with Sunny, with Bobby as well. He was a very active participant on all the reality show. He used to be a judge on those reality shows, and used to be a guest on those shows as well. So I think he has carved his ways not only from 1960s up till 2025. It is a kind of a rainbow that we have seen associated with Dharamji when we speak about the kind of activities that he was part of. His humor, his humbleness, his openness. He was very close to the paparazzi also. Nowadays we see the paparazzi culture being on boom, specifically in the city of Mumbai. Samya, he had a close and a very personal kind of relationship. He remembered faces of each and every camera person. He knew the name of each and every camera person, paparazzi, media person. Such was the man he was. He acted in many films. One such iconic would be Aankhein, Shikhar is there, Aya Sawan Jhumke is there, Jeevan Mrityu, Mera Gaon, Mera Desh, Sita aur Geeta, very, very, iconic film Sita aur Geeta, many more. Over the decades, Dharmendra ji has won immense love for the kind of versatility that he has shown, the natural screen presence that he owned, and, the evergreen charm that he possessed. And that is what he is going to be remembered for, Samya.
Absolutely, Sakshi, and in a sense that he wasn't really daunted by failures or if movies were not successful. It appears that he was someone who wanted to try newer roles, newer genres. He was open to experiments. So even if his movies did not do well, it didn't really affect him as much.
Absolutely, Samya. You are correct over there, because we were just speaking about the kind of movies that he has been part of. Teri Baaton Mein Aisa Uljha Jiya, a very different kind of character, a very small character. He was not in the leading role over there, but still he was part of it and it never bothered him. Upcoming war drama 21, which is going to be released on 25th of December. It will be releasing on Christmas. Today only, the team had released this motion poster. We all received it. We shared it across also. We did not know that, this will be the news that we will be reading out to the viewers and this will be the topic that we will be discussing. We were just thinking that we will be celebrating the upcoming movie at the age of 89 that Dharamji has become part of. He is going to be sharing screen with a very young talent, Agastya Nanda. You must have heard his name. He was in Archies. That was his first project. Then also Jaideep Elawat, Sikandar Khair. All of them are going to be in the key roles in this upcoming war drama, Samya. So you see, when we speak about the kind of casting which has been done for his upcoming war drama, Dharamji would be the oldest person of this cast list, right? You have an actor as young as Agastya Nanda in the lead role. Dharamji also in one of the key roles there. So these kind of things never bothered him. Like I said, that he was a rainbow kind of a man. He accepted everybody with open arms. He advised everybody. He was like a teacher. He was like a friend. He was like a father figure. He was also like somebody who can put you, at ease on sets when you are getting nervous. A lot of first timers who have done first time films, and that happened to be with Dharamji. They've told me, when I interviewed them, that how was it sharing screen with Dharamji? They said that we never felt like this is our first franchise. This is our first project, because Dharamji was so welcoming and he was so sweet. So these were the kind of words that poured in for him. So there was never a question of ego, even after doing so many films. And remember, Samya, like I said, that 51 rupee was his paycheck when he did his first movie, when he used to live in a garage, and he hid the fact from his father that he wanted to be an actor. He actually ran away from the garage and gave an audition, got this, he landed this part and got 51 rupee paycheck for himself. From there till becoming the man worth of crores, he has carved his own way. He has paved the way not only for himself but for many aspiring actors.
Absolutely. And for years on, people are going to take a leaf from his experiences and his conduct as someone who is a senior, who is definitely someone who's had a most remarkable body of work to boast of in the industry. Yet he was most humble and at heart very generous and kind, open to new talent and accepting I'm also joined by Mr. Ayub Khan, actor right now with me. Mr. Khan, we are talking about Dharmendra and his legacy right now. We are talking about all the movies that he had done, how he'll be fondly remembered. How do you remember him? Which are your favorite movies?
I got the opportunity and the privilege to work with Garam Dharam in 2 movies. And the other one was Sholay. And most amazing part about him was the fact that he was just so full of love and admiration for from the newest person to the oldest person, and his connection with my family, his love for my uncle. The very fact that I was in awe of him, there was very little I could say, but it was just amazing to be around him and his positivity and his love and his affection for everybody around him.
Mr. Ayub Khan, we are talking about how there was so much to learn from him. How was your experience? What are the certain things that you picked up from a man like him who remained humble at heart despite delivering several blockbusters?
The most amazing part about him is the softness with it. The ability to be so gentle, he's known as the He-Man of the industry, but he was actually so soft. It was like a dichotomy. One couldn't understand how could this beautiful person with such softness in him be considered as the He-Man. Of course, it was his personality and his outlook and his ability, but amazing. It was just an amazing influence of just being humble, gentle, soft, loving, encouraging, and he had a lot of, he used to do say a lot of shares and shairis, which was so amazing, you know. He'd inspire moments by saying the most amazing shares at a given point and inspire us.
Khan, also how he was not someone from the industry, yet he came into the industry at the age of 25 with a resolve that he is going to stick around over here and put his best foot forward and carve out a niche for himself, was also a message to several of those who are not from the industry, several young struggling actors, budding actors who want to make it to the industry. Do you feel that he was one of those beacon of hopes?
You know, Dharamji stands out because he was one of the most beautiful people the industry ever had. His good looks, his personality. He was just so incredibly talented. It was just unfathomable. Seeing him do comedy roles, seeing him play the tough man. He was just so versatile, you know. And he actually, everything that came out from his heart. He never really performed. He just felt it and he performed. And I think that's a great learning for us actors and newcomers, that you know you got to start from the heart. You just can't start from the head, and that really helps a lot of performances, I believe.
Being a superstar, Mr. Khan, he didn't have really starry tantrums. He was very accessible, especially on the sets, and open to conversations and ideas from youngsters. Did you have an experience like that as well?
We were shooting in Nasik, and I remember we were doing a song sequence, and it was very hot. And then by the end of the evening, we all were invited to his to the lobby where he had a small get-together. And how he interacted with each one of us, where he joked around, he fooled around with us, he chatted with all of us. He had a lot of stories to tell, and he had a lot of lovely messages as far as shares were concerned. It was just such a humbling experience being around him.
And despite his health challenges, Mr. Khan, he never really gave up on acting. We saw him doing roles in Rocky Rani, and now this other poster that we are putting out on our screens, Ikkis. It's another such movie where he has acted. So he never really let health get the better of him. He always ensured that he is there, one with celluloid.
He believed in living life to his fullest. The very fact that he went to his farm and he lived his life over there, and he enjoyed himself over there, whether it was living his private life or living his public life, he always lived it to the extent of being larger than life. Yeah.
Absolutely, Mr. Khan. Thank you so much for joining me here at News 9. My colleague Sakshi still continues to be with us. I beg your pardon, we'll try and get Sakshi back online with us. I'm also joined by Mr. Girish Vankade, who has continued to be with us. Mr. Vankade, thank you for your patience as we've been talking to my colleague Sakshi and actor Ayub Khan, who also shared how on the sets he was so warm and friendly to all the young actors. It didn't really matter to him whether there were people coming with certain, body of work, or if they were somebody. He treated everybody alike with equal love and respect. That is one thing that really stands out for Dharmendra, because we've seen other actors who are not so accessible, but he always ensured that even if a fan wants to walk up to him and have a conversation, he's not going to be pulled away.
Exactly, because he has also come up in a very hard way. He was the one who came from a small town in Punjab. After watching Dil Lagi of Suraiya, he made up his mind to come in films, and then he came here. He struggled, and then it was Dil Bhi Tera Hum Bhi Tere, which gave him a break. It was full of Patthar, which made him a huge star. So he has seen that. He has himself struggled it. That's why whenever there is anybody who used to come to him from Punjab, or anybody who was to take him as a hero or as an inspiration, he used to handhold them. He used to support them. He used to act as a mentor, and he has mentored a lot of people in the industry. The directors, he gave a break. He gave a break to many actors, and of course on the set also, he used to have his own camaraderie. He used to have great working relations with so many his co-stars and his fabulous friendship. That's why I always say, that he was always the part of a star-studded multi-starrer films like A Burning Train or Yadon Ki Baaraat or Sholay or Aage Aag. So he, even Sita or Gita was a multi-starrer film, or even Shalimar was a multi-starrer film. So he used to be the part of this because of his camaraderie, because of his warmth, because of his easiness with which he used to work with his actors. So that strength of him kept the warmth, the friendship, the camaraderie with his co-stars, with the actors, with the directors, and that's why he was one of the most sought-after actors of his time.
Always kept his family together. We know that Hema Malini was his second wife. He's got Ahana and Esha Deol as daughters from Hema Malini. But he always kept his family together. He never really deserted his sons, Bobby Deol, Sunny Deol. Rather, he always ensured that when they come on screen, when they are talked about, they're talked about as a family. That is also another aspect of Dharmendra as a family man, something that was personal to him, but he never shied away from putting that out into public domain.
Yeah, and that is a wonderful thing, because there are so many people who always kept their families away from the film industry, but he was not that. He was loud, clear, vocal about it. He used to support them. That's why I said that both Sunny Deol and Bobby Deol were launched by him, his own banner. So he loved the film industry. He always used to say that whatever I gain, it's all because of the films. So whatever he got, whatever he reached to, whatever he received, that was all because of the love of the films, and that's why he gave back to them. He never thought the entire film industry was his family, and his own personal family was also the part of it. So he didn't have much of difference. He used to be cordial, be very friendly to almost everybody. That was his goodwill. That was all about his charm. That was his hospitality, and that was his love, which is shared, and which we have seen in recent in television interviews, also on television reality shows. He used to just cry whenever he used to see his old songs. So that was his emotional quality which used to connect with the audience. So his rawness,
and he never tried to put up a facade of being this strong, brave man. Exactly. And that's how men are supposed to be. They're supposed to be macho and not cry and be emotional. And we see so much of that in both his sons, Sunny Deol and Bobby Deol as well, who are exactly like his father, never shying away from expressing themselves. But Mr. Wankare, since you have studied Dharmendra's work so closely and sharing these really important pearls of wisdom with us, tell us about how the roaring couple, the most hit jodi of Hema Malini and Dharmendra, ruled the screens for several years through several movies. That was a hit jodi, is how they put it across, that if they know for a fact that the movie has got Dharmendra and Hema Malini, it's going to be a hit. It's going to be a blockbuster. It's going to be entertaining, and people are going to be getting their Paisa Vasool moment.
Exactly, because see, that was a time when they used to call jodis, like Rajesh Khanna, Mumtaz, Dharmendra, Hema Malini, Amitabh Bachchan, Rekha. So these were the jodis, and Dharmendra, Hema Malini's jodi was the most sought after, most loved one, because you see their chemistry from Sita or Gita to iconic Sholay, to Raja Jani, to Shalimar, to Dream Girl. They were there, and their chemistry was so amazing. People fell in love with them. They were so good. They looked so beautiful. They were one of the best looking people across. So they had a great chemistry. Even if you know that it was Dharmendra's insistence to his director that he can take more retakes, because he wanted to spend more time with Hema Malini during the shoot of Sholay. So, and he used to bribe the boys or the waiters there, or that the production guys, so that he can take more retakes and spend more time. So that was his earthiness. That was his his rawness. So their chemistry was not only off screen but on screen. They were very successful. their films were super hit. And when we have one of the biggest hit like Sholay with Dharmendra Hema Malini, the first name on the Sholay's credit is of Dharmendra. So you can see that was the charm, that was the strength of Dharmendra Hema Malini as the most super hit jodi.
With the repartee clearly with Basanti, the Hema Malini in Sholay with Dharmendra over there. Every time they would come on screen, it used to enliven every single scene. But Mr. Wankhede, I have to ask you about how he decided to take a step back. I wouldn't say a step back, but he stepped aside rather to let Hema Malini pursue her career not only as an actor, as a dancer, but also a politician. He never really decided for her. He never really, came in the way of her trajectory, of her career graph. He's always been one of the most supportive partners as well. So not only as a father and an actor or a friend, but also as a partner. We've seen Dharmendra as one of the most supportive ones in the industry.
Yeah, that is wonderful because he allowed Hema Malini to do independent roles also. Hema Malini herself directed a film, Dil Aashna Hai, which he supported. Then Hema Malini became the producer also, which he supported, and it was her own banner. Dharmendra has already his banner, where he was a producer, but he allowed Hema Malini to have her own banner. He allowed Sunny Deol to grow. He allowed Bobby Deol to choose his own films. Initially, at the start of the career, he used to see the script for Sunny Deol also. But as they grew, then he allowed them to grow, allowed them, everybody, from Isha Deol to Hema Malini. And that is the strength of the right person. That is the way you look at somebody who's icon, who allow them to grow in their own space. That is what he did. And it always worked for him. Hema Malini grew as an actress. She grew as a politician, she grew as a producer, and that was all because he gave that freedom to her. He supported her. He always stood by her, and that is also one of the rare qualities of the superstars.
Absolutely, Mr. Wankhede, and I have to ask you about Dharmendra willing to experiment with the shades in character. Whether he was open to also doing character roles that are going to not be seeing him as one of the romantic heroes or identify him as the actor from Pal Pal Dil Ke Paas, the song, which is iconic. Was he open to even character roles with the darker shades?
Yeah, he was, but not much of dark because he knew how his image is. People love him
to see him and identify him.
Yeah, so that's why he never was comfortable by doing dark shades. But in a film like Johnny Gaddar, he has done Mafia Don, something. But it was like peripheral, not hardcore villain. Because he knew that the people will not be comfortable looking at him. Because he was loved by all sort of film goers in the role of romantic hero as an action hero. So he did characters roles. He did wonderful roles, but he always made it sure that it doesn't have grey shades or that vulgarity or something which won't go with his humongous fan following. So he was very conscious about it. And he himself was not that way. He always wanted to do something which was more to connect with, more with the positive image, more with the his heart, like he used to say, I'm a farmer. So that righteousness was always in him. That's why he always chose the characters, the role, the approach in life, which was very much realistic, very much practical. Yet,
I'll have to interject you over there. I'm joined by Mr. Taran Adarsh, film critic. Mr. Adarsh, thank you for joining me here. We are talking about how fondly world over people are right now remembering Dharmendra for the kind of body of work and his legacy is concerned. How do you look at Dharmendra's movies and the kind of genres that he was open to experiment with? We'll try and reconnect that line with Mr. Taran Adarsh, but I was asking you, Mr. Wankhede, about whether he was open to experimenting with the shades of roles and characters are concerned. Take us through whether at all directors and filmmakers tried to pursue him for certain movies that he declined because it didn't really fit the persona that he wanted to portray before his fans. Well, we are going to reconnect with Girish Bankare shortly, but we are definitely in mourning right now, as Prime Minister has also put out a post on platform X mourning the sad demise of Dharmendra, remembering the kind of iconic roles that he has done. We have spoken to several people who have known him closely, like Mr. Raza Murad, who remembers him as a friend. Listen in. This is a day that we are remembering Dharmendra very fondly over here, remembering all the roles and movies that he had done. But over here, as one of perhaps a viewer, as a fan, how do you remember him, Mr. Murad?
It has been a
Well, we have Mr. Taran Adarsh back with us, film critic. Mr. Adarsh, I was asking you that question, that we are remembering Dharmendra world over as a fan, as a viewer. How do you look at the kind of work that he has done in the industry?
A legend, absolutely, an icon. And I think, I had the good fortune of interacting with him, being with him on outdoor shoots, interviewing him on several occasions, and he was a very down-to-earth person, very nice man. And I would say that, and that niceness used to be seen across every person that he was working with also. I mean, I remember accompanying him, as I said, at outdoors of Anil Sharma's films, of various other films also, and of Arjun Ingurani's films. And the one thing that I realized was that, he was so down-to-earth, despite the stardom that he achieved. And I think he was someone who was who could be very accessible to one and all. There are stars who, even in those days, I mean, now, of course, is a very different scenario, but even in those days, people used to be, a few stars would be very aloof and would stay away from people. But Dharamji was so affectionate, so down to earth, and so accessible to everyone. And that is one quality that stayed with me always. Whenever I used to meet him, it was very affectionate. He of course he was very elder to me, and to use the term was, or in the past tense, is very difficult for Dharamji, because I think he will always live on. He is someone who would always be remembered through his work, through his movies, through his nature, the affection that he showed towards millions of people and fans across the globe. I think, and the legacy, the kind of work that he's done. And he's worked with different filmmakers, from Rishikesh Mukherjee Sahab to Ramesh Sippy to Pramod Chakravarti to Anil Sharma, of course, and to the generation, even now. I mean, on Christmas we have a release of a film called Ikkis, where he's playing a very important character, which is produced by Dinesh Vijan and directed by Sriram Raghavan. And I think that speaks speaks volumes of the kind of person he was.
Mr. Adarsh, how interesting is it for someone who has attained such a stardom, not only going to be remembered for the fantastic actor that he was, but for the person that he was? He never really shied away from expressing emotion. We've often seen him how he would start tearing up and crying if he got very emotional. A family man to the heart. These are the other aspects of Dharmendra that people are often talking about. Have you been able to ever meet him in that capacity, knowing him personally?
Yes, I've met him so many times. I've interviewed him so many times. And I remember, as I said, I've accompanied for shootings to outdoor locations. And I remember one distinct incident that happened with me. We had accompanied, a select media had been invited to cover the shoot of a film called Sahelka, directed by Anil Sharma in Himachal Pradesh. And it was snowing at that particular area, snowing very heavily. And of course, we had all carried our warm clothes and woolen clothes and everything. But, when we reached the location, it was so freezing cold that, I was actually shivering. Dharamji saw it. He was giving a shot at that point of time. He saw it. And he came up to me after the shot got over and he said, "Hey, itni thand lag rahi hai," and he took out one jacket of his. He had a spare jacket and he said, "Ye pehan lo," immediately. And that stayed with me. Because, not every person would do that. Not every actor would do that. Not any acquaintance would do that. But then that was the way Dharamji was, thinking from his heart, not from his mind. And then we, of course, sat down for question-answer sessions and talking about the film and talking about the industry in general. In those days, it was much different, and as compared to today, of course. But Dharamji will always remain one of my favorite people in the film industry.
Favorite movie of Dharmendra, Mr. Adarsh, or any particular role that you loved?
So many. I mean, from Chacha Bhatija to Dharamveer. I mean, I remember watching Dharamveer in Bandra. I was a kid at that point of time at Neptune Theatre 4 times in 4 consecutive days. Dharamji was phenomenal in that film. Then, of course, there was Rishikesh Mukherjee's Satyakam. There was Chupke Chupke. Sholay, of course. Over the years, I mean, the kind of work he's done. Pramod Chakrabarty's Azad, Ramanand Sagar's Charas. So many films. And Dream Girl, produced by Gulshan Rai. So many films that come to my mind, and it would be next to impossible to actually pinpoint every character that he's done. But he was a favorite of all. He was a
unfair to pick one, but Mr. Adarsh, I'd like to ask you that how he was willing to reinvent himself when he did movies with his sons, whether it was Yamla Pagla Divana or Apne. He didn't shy away from the fact that he is bringing his sons to the screen at a time when industry was being called out for nepotism.
I remember watching Apne at his privy theatre, Sunny Super Sound in Juhu, and when I came out, Dharamji was standing there waiting for the reactions of people, and I met him and I said, I had just tears in my eyes, and he said, Dil ko chhu gayi? I said, yes, Dil ko chhu gayi. You know, I was just talking to Anil Sharma half an hour back, the person who worked with him actually in Hukumat right till Apne, and he was telling me that, you know, we were just discussing the fond memories that we all had together at outdoor locations with Dharamji. Dharamji was very open to the media. He said, yes, please come over. Of course, there were selected media in those days. No paparazzis or no one, you know, but we were all serious writers in those days. But it was really very, very great time that we had with Dharamji on those shoots.
Despite facing health challenges, he continued to work. We saw him at Rocky Rani, and now we are going to see him at Ikkis.
Yes, absolutely. And, you know, he was so good in Rocky Rani. He was so good in Rocky Rani. And now, even in Ikkis, he's got a very pivotal character. And I think that's very important for, you know, the thing is, he kept working. He kept working all his life. He was working even before I was born, actually. And then when I interacted with him in the 1980s, right till now, to 2025, we've seen him working. You know, so I've seen him working. So that kind of, that very few actors in our industry can really claim to be working for 60 years or 65 years. It's a phenomenal achievement.
Thank you so much for joining me here at News 9 and sharing your experiences with the superstar Dharmendra, how he's going to be remembered by several people who are so fond of him, not only for the work that he gave us, for the star that he was, but for the person that he was. I have Mr. Girish Vankade back with us, but first let's listen in to what Komal Nahata had to say. But we are putting all these visuals on a screen, Mr. Nahata. Could you share your experience of knowing Dharmendra?
You know, he was such a wonderful human being. His screen toughness matched his soft-heartedness. So he was a rough and tough hero, the first He-Man of Bollywood, but he had such a golden heart. He was so soft-hearted. Anybody who came from Punjab to struggle in the film industry, I think for all of them, Dharamji's house was the go-to place. So for months, probably even a couple of years, they could stay in his house till they were self-sustaining, till they had made a place for themselves in Bollywood. I mean, where do you get such people today? So people used to just come and make his home their home. And the large-heartedness was for all to see, because I don't think he ever told no to anybody. If you are a struggler from Punjab, you know where to go. And with open arms, he used to accept them, give them food, shelter, roof over their heads, till they made a place for themselves. So I think a lot of people from Punjab owe their journey in the film industry and owe their name and fame in the film industry to Dharamji.
And in a way, Dharmendra was also one of those who wasn't really from the industry. His father was a teacher. He is one of those who set a benchmark to say that, look, if you have talent, if you're willing to stick around over here, you can really earn the love, respect of the people in Bollywood and deliver certain hits.
Definitely. Certain hits means blockbusters. I mean, his performance in Sholay, the name Sholay brings such iconic figures like Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmendra, Sanjeev Kumar, Hema Malini. I mean, all of them, Jaya Bachchan, all of them were so outstanding. And yes, you're right. By sheer dint of talent and hard work, he made such a fantastic place for himself. And he was so unassuming as a hero. He was such a wonderful person. So he was a hero in real life too, not just on screen.
And it was about his film and his craft and the blockbusters that he delivered, like you rightly mentioned, Mr. Nahata. But it was also about how he kept his family together. He was always such a family man. That is the impression and the image he has always given out. We've seen how fondly Sunny Deol, Bobby Deol and all his kids adore him, love him and remember him.
Of course. And the three of them came together in Openness. What a wonderful film it was. I think, yes, you're very right. He kept his family together. In today's age of nuclear families, for 3 generations to be living together, I think that itself is so wonderful.
Absolutely. It's important to tell our viewers that he was blessed with Bobby Deol, Sunny Deol, Esha Deol, Ahana Deol, Ajeta, Vijeta, all his kids. And he never shied away, Mr. Nahata, from bringing his family to the screens. He did movies like Apne, like you mentioned, Yamla Pagla Divana. It was also to send a message across to all those people who tried to call out nepotism in the industry.
Yes. See, because he was clean-hearted, because he was very pure as a person, he didn't bother about these things. He never even discussed these things because he knew talent is what makes people click here. I mean, his own son, Bobby Deol, for so many years, he didn't have any worthwhile roles. And then he struck back, not because he was Dharamji's son, he struck back because he reinvented himself. And what a golden innings he's having now. So this family is a shining example of, maybe you're from the film family, but if you have talent, you can make a big name for yourself.
Absolutely. But before I let go of you, Mr. Nahata, I would like to ask, what was your personal favorite movie of Dharmendra or any particular dialogue, barring from Sholay, that you remember right now?
Chupke. I loved it. I can watch it n number of times.
As Dr. Parimal Tripathi.
Yes.
But Mr. Nahata, as far as Dharmendra is concerned, he set a benchmark. There are actors who have come out in public and spoken about it, whether it is Salman Khan, whether it is Shah Rukh Khan. There are so many other actors who look up to him to say that they don't make actors like him before. Tell us a little bit about how he was looked upon by the younger generation, so-called the millennials and the Gen Z generation, how he blended. He never let that age come in the way to say that, look, I am senior.
Yeah. He had this unbelievable quality to become of the age group in which he was moving. So if he was working with youngsters, he used to be like one of them. So nobody actually was intimidated by his presence. He was so easygoing and he used to make everybody feel so comfortable that whether it was millennials, whether it was the Anil Kapoor, Jackie Shroff age, whether it was, or the Sunny Deol age group, whether it was younger than them, whether it was rank newcomers, I think everybody just adored him as a father figure. Everybody.
And that's how he's going to be remembered. He's going to live through his legacy. Always been there as a provider, always been hospitable, having a generous and being known as a large-hearted individual.
Yes.
What do we have to say about his experiments is concerned as far as his range of movies are there? Because he did certain action movies. He was also seen as a very charming actor in romantic roles. And of course, he reinvented himself for comedy movies as well.
Yes. But that was his USP. He had a rough and tough body, which made people refer to him as a He-Man, but he had such a soft and romantic face that he fitted in very well even in romantic roles. So I think he was a deadly combination of a He-Man with a soft face, a romantic face. So there was no role where he looked like fish out of water. There was nothing that didn't suit him. If it was a pure romantic role, he was lovely. Because he was such a fine actor, he shone in comedies. And of course, because of his persona, the He-Man roles, the action roles, of course, he did so well.
Well, that was Mr. Komal Nahata sharing his experiences and anecdotes with the legendary actor Dharmendra. I have with me Girish Wankhede, who continues to be with us. Mr. Wankhede, you know, it's how interesting it is to hear about people remembering Dharmendra as someone who was emotional, someone who was pure, someone who was very genuine and authentic in his approach. He didn't really let that stardom come to him, and he didn't have to assert his superiority over youngsters. But I have to ask you about how there was an era that Dharmendra was part of, where there were several movies that were made with two actors or two leading actors with the multiple star cast, but he was never intimidated if he was pitted against another actor as well. There have been series of these movies, whether it is Sholay, Chupke Chupke, Dost, Blackmail, whether he had Vinod Khanna opposite him or Amitabh Bachchan, Shatrughan Sinha. He acted in tandem with them. He never really let that become an issue between doing a movie who's going to get more scenes, more screen time, which is so prevalent now, ironically, Mr. Wankhede. Mr. Wankhede, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, he was always an actor who used to work with a great camaraderie with directors and actors. Like, I remember it was Mera Gaon Mera Desh, which was actually the prelude to Sholay, and he was acting with Vinod Khanna. That was a super hit film, and again his co-star was a huge star. Even in Sita or Gita, then there was The Burning Train, then there was Ailane Jang, Chacha Bhatija, Gulami. Gulami was one of the very big star-studded film where his character was complicated and he did a great job with it. Even Hakikat, the film which was made by Chetan Anand in that black and white era, he was pitted against so many stalwarts, but he kept on his own. Then there were, of course, Chupke Chupke, Gazab, Do Dishaएं, Hatyar. These are all the films which you can show, which we can see. Aya Sawan Jhoom Ke. He was with Rajendra Kumar, Shatrughan Sinha, Amitabh Bachchan. All the stars of his time, even with Shatrughan Sinha, like Blackmail, it was a super hit film. So whenever he was acting with other stars also, like Jitendra and his jodi of Dharamveer was a super hit jodi by Manmohan Desai. So he was always a character. He did great job with his own characterization, like in Chupke Chupke and Dharamveer, and with the co-stars always. He has a great camaraderie, which we can see. So in multi-starrer films, in the solo films, even if it is a serious film, if it is a experimental film, it is an action-packed film, he was a feast to watch. He was a great an actor to watch, and he was always in the skin of the character. So irrespective of his solo films, he did a lot of multi-starrer films and he was equally good at it.
Absolutely, Mr. Wankhede. I was asking you earlier about the hit jodi of Hema Malini and Dharmendra that delivered more than 45 movies together. But he also had these other popular pairing with either Saira Bano or Sharmila Tagore that was also received well by the fans and critics. What do you have to say about how open he was for new actors, new actresses being paired against him when he had already attained a sense of stardom?
Yeah, he was very open to it. Like, he did films with Tanuja, Saira Bano, Nutan. In addition to Hema Malini, Mausami Chatterjee was also his heroine. Zina Taman he worked with, Parveen Bapi he worked with. And in the later 90s, he worked with Anita Raj. So many actresses he worked with, and he had a very great reception with them. Wonderful chemistry with them. Everybody knew that he and Hema Malini as the biggest jodi, but with other actresses also. In fact, he started with Meena Kumari, Phool Aur Patthar. That was his first biggest jodi, which gave him a stardom. And then, of course, with Saira Banu, he did many films. And then Hema Malini's jodi. Then, in the meanwhile, he did films with Babita and Tanuja and even with Reena Roy and Rekha and so many people. And then with all these actresses, he was always somebody who was a huge star, but always kept himself
He
very
was a
humble,
favorite,
very
Mr.
receptive.
Vankade, and he was never really insecure, even though the actress that he is paired against is going to be someone who might just be bigger than him. He never really let that come in the way because he knew that he's going to hold his own.
Exactly, because he was always a secured actor. He was never shy of doing the experiment, working with co-stars, working with bigger directors, because he was very confident. He knew his craft well. He knew that he can carry it. He has that something in him, and he was always a successful actor because he chose the right scripts. Because always I think I see and I say often that Mera Gaon Mera Desh was so wonderfully crafted film. It was one of the most entertaining films of that time, where nobody can do the way Dharmendra has performed in that film.
Absolutely, but the duo of Jay and Veeru from Sholay, well, that has gotten immortalized. How was the working relationship or the camaraderie, like you've been mentioning, with Amitabh Bachchan that time? Because when Sholay happened, Amitabh Bachchan wasn't only establishing himself as an actor that time, while Dharmendra and Hema Malini were the more talked about couple.
Exactly. Amitabh Bachchan was not a huge star at that time. It was all Dharmendra. Dharmendra's film. It was as a hero. And then, of course, Sanjeev Kumar was also well known. But Amitabh Bachchan was not the star. So the real star was Dharmendra. And the way he performed Veeru with him as a Jai, we can see that he was so receptive to a comparatively newcomer. He got him in his own wings. Most of the time we say that it was Jaya Bachchan and Dharmendra who insisted, even Javed Akhtar who insisted to have Amitabh Bachchan in the role of Jai. So Dharmendra was very receptive. There is no friction. We can see he is so wonderful in that film. He has his own space. And even when Amitabh Bachchan was newcomer, Dharmendra was already a huge star by that time, but he received him quite well and positively.
Absolutely. Despite being a huge star, like you're mentioning, Mr. Vankade, the friends and the people around him who've known him for years on, they have such beautiful things to talk about him, like Mr. Raza Murad, who was telling us about how he remained humble and down to earth despite all the stardom. Let's listen to what Mr. Raza Murad has to say. This is a day that we are remembering Dharmendra very fondly over here, remembering all the roles and movies that he had done. But over here, as one of perhaps a viewer, as a fan, how do you remember him, Mr. Murad?
It has been a very long association with Mr. Dharmendra, and I'm very fortunate. I had the opportunity to work with Mr. Dharmendra in 26 movies. So it has been a very rewarding experience indeed to, know him and as a actor as well as a person. So I have a lot of memories, lot of fond memories. And he was a complete man. He was a complete man from all the aspects. A versatile actor, a very doting and disciplined father, a very friend who would protect his friends, and he was an open heart. So his achievements are just unparalleled. The amount of work which he has done, the amount of different roles which he has portrayed. And besides that, the most popular person I've ever come across in the film industry was Dharamji. So it was a rather feast to co-star with him. And he has achieved so much that I think nobody else would have,
Absolutely.
Exactly the dizzy height which he has covered. No one else can even dream about it. When Rajesh Khanna was at his prime, all the leading men were just, they just disappeared. But it was only Dharmendra who stood like a rock of Gibraltar in Rajesh Khanna era. He gave films consequently in a calendar year, 8 hit films in the Rajesh Khanna era. He was a man, an actor, a person par excellence. He's just incomparable. You cannot compare Dharam. An innocent man. He was a farmer with a farmer at heart who used to always talk about his school days, his farm in Punjab, his classmates, his teachers. He had excellent memory. He knew all his classmates by their names, and he was a very emotional person who could cry at the drop of a hat. He was so emotional person. He had a tough exterior, but from outside he was Garam Dharam, but from inside he was Naram Dharam, Naram Dil Kaam The, very soft-hearted person. So he will be missed, and nobody can replace his achievements, his popularity. No one can. No one can see the era of 65 years which he has seen without a downfall. Unparalleled. He was unparalleled.
That was Raza Murad recounting all the memories that he had with Dharmendra. And Mr. Girish Wankade still continues to be with us. Mr. Wankade, I have to ask you if there was any sense of, rivalry within the industry when Dharmendra was the raging actor of his times, because he never really let this come in the way of putting across a good movie at the end of the day. Was he someone who tried to be a team player, always prioritizing what the story and the film director and the filmmakers should have their way ahead? Or was he someone who used to be concerned about how his role was carved out?
No, he was always secured about his own characterization, his own role, on the screen presence for all his stories with the directors, with the actors. He was a wonderful man to work with. He supported newcomers. Off screen, his stories were different. He had occasional friction with his co-stars regarding his romantic life. That was very personal. But on the professional front, he was wonderful. He was receptive. He was giving. He was understanding. He was experimenting. He was doing all sort of work. But yes, there were several fictions with Jitendra and Sanjay Kumar during his romantic squabbles. But on the whole, professionally, he was wonderful.
And Mr. Wankade, when we're talking about Dharmendra over here, he's also set an example about the fact that you continue to work no matter what the age may be. You continue doing work no matter how big or small the role may be, because he loved being part of the industry. He loved being on the sets, and that is how he perhaps wanted to breathe his last while being watched on screens, and a movie that is still impending a release in December, because he did try to reconnect, reinvent himself and stay connected. His idea was to stay connected with the viewers, with the fans, so that they remember him. He wanted to be in public memory.
Exactly, the way Raj Kapoor was. Raj Kapoor always used to say that I will always take my last breath in the studio only. So bury me in the studio only. I want to be here forever. So like that, Dharmendra was always working. He was always the part of film industry. He was talking about films. He was on the reality shows. He was working as an actor. He was producing. So he was the part of the mainstream cinema for all these years, and he did it wonderfully. So he was, of course, for all the 6 decades, he was always in the news for the right reasons. I used to take the use of social media as well. So he was there always as an actor, as a protagonist, as a filmmaker, and of course a true farmer from heart, what he used to say. So he was always working, and that is a big inspiration for the entire generation.
Absolutely, Mr. Girish Vankare. He is going to be an inspiration for several generations to come. He has been an inspiration as actors like Salman Khan has also mentioned, and even senior actors like Dilip Kumar were also so fond of him. We are going to continue our continuous coverage on Dharmendra, speaking to several of those from the industry who remember him fondly. As we slip into a short break right now, Mr. Girish Vankare still continues with us.
What is speed? Do you ever see it? Or is it something you feel? Speed, it's relative. The more you speed up, the more the world slows down. And when you are fast enough, everything becomes still. That's when you see the world as it truly is. Servo Hypersport F5, when speed is your default.
आओ मनाए दूध क्रांति के जनक डॉक्टर वर्गीस कुरियन का जन्म दिवस।
पेंटिंग में पहली बार बिरला ओपस एश्योरेंस।
1 साल में पेंट को कुछ भी हुआ तो पेंटिंग वापस करके देंगे।
रजिस्टर करो birlaopus.com पर।
Eastern India's first Business and Economy Literature Fest 2025 on 20th and 21st December at Taj Tal Kutir, Kolkata.
EIILM presents Business and Economy Literature Fest. Curation and ideation partner, Story Nest. Knowledge partner, Penguin. And industry partner, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Excuse me, आपने भारत कनेक्ट का नाम सुना है? कोई जॉब वेबसाइट है? वैकेंसी है? जॉब्स नहीं, वो 700 से ज्यादा एप्स पे बिल पेमेंट्स पॉसिबल बनाते हैं।
वाओ!
आप हमें जानते नहीं पर मानते जरूर हैं। हम हैं भारत कनेक्ट।
A resurgent India is racing towards the Viksit Bharat goal, braving global economic headwinds. Bulletproofing our economy from these uncertainties are Bharat's homegrown businesses. Powered by tech-led innovation, Indian entrepreneurs are truly scaling up, riding the next wave of disruption with AI and cloud to break into the big global league. TV9 Network in association with SAP presents Visionaries of Viksit Bharat, a series celebrating inspirational business leaders shaping tomorrow. Watch them take an iconic leap at Visionaries of Viksit Bharat conclaves. Exclusively on News9.
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया।
आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, IIFL फाइनेंस से झटपट गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाइए।
लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे, अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए। IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात।
Red Fort explosion. Let's get you all the updates. Following the blast, there is of course a South Indian connection of Dr. Shaheen Shahid. Because this is news of national import that search operations are underway across the entire Al-Falah University campus. The blast killed 12 people. Prices, however, of Nandini ghee have been hiked. KMF has defended Nandini is the brand. I've been getting a lot of queries on my phone. What's for the people of Karnataka? Okay, you can play tennis as much as you want to, but I'm the empire and I will say please. There is an eyeball to eyeball confrontation. Where is this going? What is the way out? The farmers, they can actually shake a nation. Both of you down because I can also shout Prashant ji.
A legend of Indian cinema has passed away. It is the end of an era, as it were, as Dharmendra bids us all a tearful farewell. The nation is mourning the loss of one of its biggest icons as far as the world of cinema, entertainment and culture is concerned. A man who transcended borders with his long body of work, the iconic films that has been a part of for the last 6 decades. They called him He-Man, sometimes Action King, due to his action hero roles, as well as, of course, Garam Dharam, a nod to his charismatic and humorous on-screen persona. But for some time now, 89-year-old Dharmendra has caused much anxiety to fans and family due to the reports of his ill health. The veteran actor was discharged from the hospital last Wednesday after being admitted for a few days. The actor's family issued a statement that the actor will continue his recovery at home. In fact, in a recent interview, Dharmendra's wife and actor Hema Malini said that Dharmendra's kids are sleepless, but they are relieved that he is out of the hospital. But unfortunately, now, legendary actor Dharmendra is no more. He's passed away at the age of 89. There's been a rush to the Pawan Hans crematorium in the Viliparle area of Mumbai, where all the stars and all those who want to pay respects to Dharmendra have been arriving. Everybody from Amitabh Bachchan to Amir Khan to Dharmendra's family as well Dharmendra's loss has been condoled by no less than the Prime Minister himself, Prime Minister Modi, and Union Home Minister Amit Shah, expressing their condolences. The nation is mourning now the loss of this legendary cultural icon. We're continuing to get you the latest visuals from Mumbai, where the ones on your screens are essentially all the cars, all the stars making a beeline to the Pawan Hans crematorium, where Dharmendra's cremation is set to take place. The biggest of stars, and more importantly, those he's worked with very closely, the likes of Amitabh Bachchan, are there mourning his loss. Bear in mind, his loss is felt profoundly by his family, the film fraternity, and the nation as a whole. After some back and forth about his ill health in the past week, now it is confirmed that Dharmendra is no more with us. He will be cremated today. The He-Man of Hindi film industry, or Bollywood, has breathed his last. 89-year-old Dharmendra did cause a lot of anxiety to fans with his ill health. Many thought we lost him last week, but now we have indeed. And the veteran actor passing away after being discharged from the hospital last Wednesday. Let's listen to quickly some of the reactions coming in, starting with Usha Uttup.
How do you remember Dharmendra over the years, Ms. Uttup?
I think the thing that stands out the most about him was his charming smile, the most charming smile, really disarming everybody else who even watched him. It was not just I mean, everybody has the same things to say, but I think the striking thing would be his personality, and his persona was just so beautiful. And I really, really pray for, for the family and for my dear friend, dearest friend, Hema Malini. I really pray for them, and I hope that the whole family has got the strength to bear this terrible, irreparable loss, actually. So grieved and so sorry, because I mean, as we all know, the one thing 100% true is that and certain is that when you're born you have to die. But the kind of people, there are certain people who, who've left behind such fantastic footprints in the sand that it's really, really sad. May his soul rest in peace. The legacy of perfect timing for comedy as well, besides his other role. He was just fantastic, really.
He wasn't just the He-Man or the action hero, Ms. Uttup. He was also known for his romantic action, for romantic acting and comic timing, like you rightly mentioned. What was your favorite movie? How do you remember him as far as one of his favorite roles are concerned?
I would say definitely Chupke Chupke. And Sholay, of course, Sholay. And just 50 years, and I'm so sad because we had a celebration in Calcutta for the Stagecraft Awards, where we kind of give awards to all the technicians, and we had dedicated this whole award function to Sholay and the 50 years of Sholay. And, it's right from day one we wanted him to be there. But then, his health just deteriorated and we couldn't. But the spirit of Dharmendra was all over the stage. And, of course, we had Mr. Sippy over there, and his mother had also come. It was fantastic. And, everybody had such wonderful things to say about him. And, really marvelous.
धर्म जी को एज ए हीरो शायद मैंने अपनी बहुत छोटी उम्र से उन्हें एज ए हीरो देखा है। जब हम 10-12 साल के थे तो उनकी फिल्में जो हमारे, मैं एक बहुत छोटे शहर भिवानी से ताल्लुक़ रखता हूँ, वहाँ उनकी आती थी और उसी वक्त से वो मेरे पसंदीदा हीरो थे बिकॉज उनकी 2-3 वजूहत थी। वो एक तो ये थे कि बहुत हैंडसम थे, पंजाब से बिलोंग करते थे और उस वक्त हरियाणा भी पंजाब का एक हिस्सा था, और उनकी एक सादगी, उनकी जो चेहरे की एक सादगी थी, वो उसमें एक कशिश थी। जबकि उस वक्त बहुत सारे लोग ऐसा भी कहते थे कि एज एन एक्टर धर्मेंद्र को अभी भी बहुत कुछ सीखने की ज़रूरत है। लेकिन उन्होंने अपने लंबे समय में न सिर्फ लोगों को ये दिखा दिया कि वो अपनी मेहनत से और अपनी उसी सादगी से उन्होंने अपने टैलेंट को किस तरह बखूबी निभाया बहुत सारी फिल्मों में। तो हाँ, मेरी जो मोहब्बत कह लीजिए उनसे एज ए हीरो, वो बहुत छोटी उम्र से शुरू हो गई थी। और ये ख्वाब था कि कभी हम भी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में जाएंगे, तो कुछ लोगों की मुझे बहुत लालसा थी कि मैं उनसे आके मिलूं और उनसे बातें कर पाऊं। उसमें धर्म जी भी बहुत नंबर 1 पे थे। तो यस, ये मेरी चाइल्डहुड ड्रीम था कि मैं कभी इस इंडस्ट्री में आऊं और मेरी धर्म जी से मुलाकात हो।
And now we have KC Bokadia, film producer and director, now joining us on the phone. And KC Bokadia जी, हमारे साथ बात करने के लिए धन्यवाद। मैं बस यही पूछना चाहूँगा कि धर्मेंद्र जी जो हैं वो इंडियन सिनेमा के इतिहास के एक अहम हिस्सा हैं और आज हम सब उन्हें खो चुके हैं।
नमस्ते जी, मैं KC बोकाडिया। मैंने और धर्म साहब ने पहली फिल्म 1976 में की थी, चुनौती। फिरोज खान, धर्मेंद्र जी, धर्म साहब और नीतू सिंह जी थी, नीतू जी थी। उसके बाद फिर हमने साथ 5 टोटल मिला के 7 पिक्चर साथ में किया, मैदान जंग, कुंदन, जुल्म और सितम। और मेरा, आप जहाँ तक तजुर्बे की बात है, मैं ऑलमोस्ट सब एक्टरों के साथ काम किया, लेकिन जितना इजी और जितना मतलब इंसानियत धर्म जी में थी या धर्म साहब में थी, वो तो बच्चा फिल्म लाइन का यही बात बोलेगा, बल्कि पब्लिक में भी उनकी यही इमेज है। और बहुत से किस्से सर उनके साथ में, लेकिन सही मायने में तो हम लोग बोलते वैसी बात, देवरूपी आदमी था। और देवरूपी आदमी ऐसा नहीं किसी को देवता का नाम किसी काम के साथ जुड़ता है। नेचर भी अच्छी थी, इतना बड़ा आदमी हो गया जरा भी नहीं। अगर कोई आके डिस्टर्ब भी करता था शूटिंग के दरमियान, तो अपने गुस्से बढ़ने से पी जाते थे और पुलिस वाले ने डांट के उसको निकालता था, तो या पुलिस वालों को डांटता था, ये लोग हैं तो हम लोग हैं। उसको गले लगाते, उसके साथ फोटो खिंचवाते, और बस बाकी तो धर्म की असर, उनका तो कोई रिप्लेसमेंट ही नहीं है। भगवान उनकी आत्मा को शांति दे। और मेरा सर बहुत अच्छा तजुर्बा, मुझसे तो बहुत प्यार करते थे। उनका मतलब हेमान जी के घर के सामने ही मेरा घर था, मद्रास में बंगला था राजा। तो एक बार कोई हमारे प्रोडक्शन वालों ने उनको डबल रूम दे दिया स्वीट की जगह। तो मैं गया यार, मैं बोला क्या धर्मेंद्र साहब को डबल रूम दे दिया, स्वीट रूम को शिफ्ट करो। तो यार बोले मुझे, बोकाडिया साहब ठीक है ना, अच्छा बाथरूम है, क्रिकेट थोड़ी खेलना है इसमें। लेकिन सर वो उनको पता है कि उनको बैडमिंटन का बहुत शौक था, तो मैंने अपने बंगले में बैडमिंटन ग्राउंड बनाया। और फिर वो आए तो मुझे बोले यार मेरे को इंस्टॉलमेंट नहीं दोगे तो चलेगा, आपने मुझे बैडमिंटन का ग्राउंड दे दिया। इतने शौकीन थे, इतने एक्टिव थे और इतना स्पोर्ट्स के प्रति प्रेम था, इतना लोगों से। प्रोड्यूसर को कभी मैं नहीं समझता किसी प्रोड्यूसर के साथ कोई धर्म जी की कभी कोई बदतमीजी हुई हो, पैसे को लेके, काम को लेके कहीं भी ठहरा दिया। मेरा तो दूर की बात है सर, अगर साथ में कोई एक्टर भी होता और वो एक्टर के रीटेक होते ना, तो उसको कभी बोलते नहीं, बोलते थे यार नहीं यार हो जाएगा तो अच्छा कर। एक बार एक पिक्चर की शूटिंग थी टाइगर मद्रास में, उसमें धर्म साहब को एक टाइगर, रियल टाइगर के साथ की हाइट थी टाइगर की, उसके साथ हमें कहा सर आप शूट करेंगे रियल। बोले नहीं मैं साला पंजाब का शेर आदमी हूँ यार, ऐसा कुछ शेर। तो उन्होंने सर जो लव से शेर से लड़ा, टाइगर से जब लड़े तो छोड़ के भागने लगा धर्म जी को। उन्होंने पीछे से फिजिकली पूंछ खींच के और उसके बाद सर की जब आगरा पा गया, सर ऐसा मर्द आदमी, ऐसा शेर आदमी, वो शेर बोलने को शेर नहीं थे, वो दिल से शेर थे, फिजिकली शेर थे। और अपनी भगवान उनकी आत्मा को शांति थे। पूरा हिंदुस्तान की पब्लिक की तरफ से, पूरी फिल्म इंडस्ट्री की तरफ से मैं धर्म जी को सादर प्रणाम चरण स्पर्श करूं। धन्यवाद।
Bukare ji, stay with us. बने रहिए हमारे साथ. We also have my colleague Sakshi Litoria with us on the broadcast. Sakshi, his career has been incredible. You keep talking about iconic films in the 60s and 70s like Phool Aur Patthar and Sholay and others, but you had him come back with a vengeance into mainstream cinema, in Hindi cinema, with films like Johnny Gaddar and Metro, and he continued to work on the Yamla Pagla Divana franchise as well. So it's been incredible. The latter half of his career has been incredible. It's been a testament to the icon that has been.
Absolutely, Krishna. You see, Dharmendra ji, who we don't have anymore with us, he has left a void which can never be filled by any of the actors in the film industry. He has headlined more than 300 films. His personal life also remained in the limelight, apart from the professional life. The family so far has maintained a position about the Hindi film industry, thanks to the roles that he has delivered. That defined an era. His sons Bobby, Sunny, who carried forward, the legacy that he had scripted. We very well know that Hema Malini ji is also Bollywood's dream girl. We are speaking about He-Man here. His daughters, Isha, Hana, also have made their own pace in Bollywood. His career is going to remain timeless, Krishna. See, more than 300 films, more than 60 years of time that he has given to the entertainment industry. It is going to remain unmatchable. He was fondly referred to as Bollywood's He-Man. He now leaves behind a filmography that influenced sort of the pinnacle of Indian cinema, right? He portrayed everything from intense action heroes to sensitive romantic leads to the funny characters in Yamla Pagla Divana, say you said, a very famous franchise over the course of 6 decades. From his portrayal of Shakti Singh in 1966 film Phool Aur Patthar, the famous role of Veeru in cult classic Sholay, to then we have to speak about romantic comedy drama of Chupke Chupke. His performances, Krishna, has carried both strength and charm in itself, right? His on-screen presence and deep voice also made him a household name. I still remember reading about some of the instances where, he garnered a lot of female attention towards himself. There were many female fans frantically, used to follow his car wherever he used to go for, say, any award function or for a guest appearance, any of the set. Women used to have this big poster cutouts of Dharmendra ji, writing letters written by their own blood. So these are some of the bizarre fan encounters and bizarre fan interactions that Dharmendra ji had. And Dharam ji was also known for the kind of persona that he carried with him, not only on the sets, Krishna, but off the camera also. He was very humble. He was a very sweet man, always ready to help people, very accessible. Knew paparazzi and reporters and journalists. He remembered everybody's name personally. Beyond the screen also, he was leader of most of the well-known families in Bollywood. We remember, we have been speaking about it ever since we broke this news on our channel, Krishna, that he began with a paycheck of 51 rupee. The first film paid him about 51 rupee. And now today, till today, he has become man worth of crores. So he built it for himself. He built it for his family. He built it for, many aspiring actors to come.
Stay with us, Sakshi. Stay with us. We have Raja Bundela, actor, now joining us on the phone. And we also have K.C. Bokadia ji, film producer and director with us. K.C. Bokadia ji, bane rahiye hamare sath. Raja Bundela, what a loss as an actor when you look at somebody like Dharmendra, an icon like Dharmendra. You're talking about 6 decades of acting. He continued to act till his last breath, and his last movie, Ikkis, is going to release now, next month.
Yeah, you are very right. It's the era is gone, and in another way, the He-Man has gone. Now, all the way, he was a He-Man. The great thing was about him, he was a great inspiration for the people, downwards people. Those that comes from village, they comes from a small town. They are not very, very qualified. They are not very upwards. And he used to be the great inspiration. They used to call me a football player. rather than an actor. But he has proved everybody wrong with his acting, with his behavior, with his labor, with his looks, with his professional skill. और मैंने तो सनी के साथ काम किया है, तो मैं जानता हूँ उनके कितने करीब, मैंने उनको करीब से देखा है। और जिस तरह से उन्होंने अपने बच्चों
मेमोरी क्या है उनके साथ जब आप मिले थे उनसे?
अब एक बार अर्जुन की शूटिंग के बाद जब उनके घर गए, तब उन्होंने एक ही नसीहत हम लोगों को दी थी, ईश्वर जो भी तुम्हें दे रहा है उसको रजा पको, उसको उसका शुक्र अदा करो और अपने को देखो, दूसरों को मत देखो। तुम्हें जो मिला है वो दुनिया से, लोगों से हट के मिला है। अगर उस पर ही तुम अपना गर्व करोगे तो ईश्वर भी तुमको खुश रखेगा। दूसरों की नजर पर रखोगे, दूसरों पे नजर रखोगे तो हमेशा हम अपने आप को कम पाओगे। That was the kind of conversation we had, and he used to praise everybody. I never heard of anybody, मतलब हम लोगों की जितनी भी भेंट हुई, हमें कभी किसी के बारे में उन्होंने गलत नहीं कहा, ना कभी किसी के पीठ पर कोई बुराई की। That was his greatness. इसलिए आप देखिए कि उनके बच्चे भी, उनका पूरा परिवार भी आज एक है। पूरा परिवार नहीं टूटा। परिवार की परवरिश इस फिल्म इंडस्ट्री में करते हुए भी, रहते हुए भी कैसे जोड़ा, और दूसरी शादी भी बड़ी डंके की चोट पर की है, और उसको में भी उन्होंने कहीं किसी को शर्मिंदा नहीं किया, ना हेमा जी को, ना इधर। वो भी उन्होंने इतने अच्छे उससे की कि सारे लोगों ने उनको एक्सेप्ट किया। तो लोग, मेरा आखिरी यह है, लोग आते हैं दुनिया में और दुनिया से लोग जाते हैं, लेकिन आप संसार में क्या छोड़ के जाते हैं? आपकी लेगेसी क्या है? आपके क्या पद चिन्ह है जिससे आपको लोग याद रखें? धर्म जी के पास इतना कुछ है, इतना कुछ दे के जा रहे हैं कि हमको धर्म जी पीढ़ियों दर पीढ़ी याद रहेंगे, उनके काम से, उनके व्यवहार से, उनके परिवार के चलते हमें बहुत सारी चीजें जो हमें मिलेंगी। एक गांव के किसान का बेटा 6 पीढ़ी काम करके जाए और वो कहीं उसको लाज लज्जा ना हो, इससे बड़ी बात क्या हो सकती है?
बिल्कुल। स्टे विद अस मिस राजा बुंदेला। केसी बोकाटे जी 6 पीढ़ी से काम कर रहे हैं, और मेरी भी यही सोच है कि मतलब अगर कोई आइकॉनिक एक्टर है कि 1960s में 70s में इतने बड़े फिल्में, शोले जैसे फिल्में, और उसके बाद भी उन्होंने रुका नहीं, उन्होंने अपनी आखिरी दम तक काम किया है। केसी बोकाटे जी।
हाँ जी, मैं आपको बताऊं सर, मैंने पहले धर्म साहब के साथ पहली पिक्चर 1976 में की थी, चुनौती। धर्मेंद्र जी, फिरोज खान साहब, नीतू सिंह, और उसके बाद में टोटल आज तक 7 पिक्चरें की। और मेरा तजुर्बा और मेरा जो है सर, मैं आपको बताऊं, वो शेर हिंदुस्तान से था। मैं आपको बताऊं, दिल से भी शेर था और फिजिक और नेचर से भी शेर था। हमारी एक फिल्म मद्रास में शूटिंग थी, इंसाफ कौन करेगा, तो उसमें एक सीन था जो शेर के साथ फाइट करनी थी। तो मैंने धर्म साहब को बोला कि मैं ये हमारा भगत है और इसके घर में वो मरेगा, शेर जो आपको खाने आया था वो छोड़ के चला जाएगा, तो आप फाइट करिए उसके साथ। बोले करूंगा, और उन्होंने की। और ऐसा हाल हुआ कि वो शेर जो है वो छोड़ के धर्म जी को भागने लगा, तो पिक्चर से खींच के खींचा पंजाबी आदमी, ऐसा शेर आदमी, वो वाकई वो शेर ही था सर, जिसका नाम धर्मेंद्र साहब थे। नेचर से भी शेर था, सब कुछ होते हुए किसी आदमी को कभी नीचे नहीं दिखाया। अगर सेट पे कोई दूसरा एक्टर प्रॉपर एक्सप्रेशन नहीं दे पा रहा या रीटेक हो रहा है, उसको जलील नहीं करते, उसको प्रेम से ले जाके समझाते, बेटा ऐसा कर दो। तो आदमी की क्या करना सर, वो आदमी अपने आप में कोई हीरा था फिल्म लाइन के लिए। उस आदमी का जाना, मतलब मैं नहीं समझता हूँ फिल्म लाइन के पूरे हिंदुस्तान वालों को तकलीफ हो रही है, सबके आंखों में आंसू है। जहाँ भी धर्म साहब आप हो, भगवान आपकी आत्मा को शांति दे। पूरा हिंदुस्तान बल्कि पूरी दुनिया आपकी इज्जत करता था, करता है और करता रहेगा। बहुत बहुत मेरा सर बहुत बहुत हाथ जोड़ के आपको सर आपकी आत्मा को शांति दे। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Mr. Raja Bundela, that's all that can be said, isn't it? At this stage, you can only hope and pray for strength for the family and for all those who are extremely close to him. Right now, the entire nation is mourning the loss of somebody who, whether they were, somebody who saw from afar or saw his every single movie, they will feel his loss like the loss of a family member. Raja Bundela. Mr. Raja Bundela? Right, we have Sakshi still with us. Sakshi Litoria, that's essentially the sentiment here, isn't it? You're praying for strength for the family of Dharmendra, but it's the way the loss is felt is like the loss of a family member for this nation.
Right, Krishna. You and I, we can speak from the perspective of a fan who has always seen him on the screens, facing, even at this age. Last we saw him in 2024 in Teri Baaton Mein Aisa Uljha Jiya, playing a very small character. But as much as I knew about Dharamji, Krishna, he never thought about the kind of role that he is getting, because he has really rocked, how do I say, in 1960s, 70s, 80s, he was a household name. He still is, in fact. And later in his years, he never stopped working. He said that till the time I have life in my body, I am going to stay in front of the cameras and I am going to put as much energy which is left in me. So in 2024, we saw him. 25th December will be the day when we will see him again for one last time through a war drama, Ikkis. Motion poster of Dharamji just dropped today. It also reminds me of a, instance back from Filmfare Awards, Krishna. You remember when Dilip Kumarji presented the Filmfare Lifetime Achievement Award to Dharamji? He said that, whenever I get to meet with God Almighty, I will set before him my only complaint that why did you not make me as charming and handsome as Dharmendra? So he presented a very rare archetype in Hindi cinema, a star whose beauty, whose smile, his masculinity, emotions that he used to, present through his face, his body. It was very rare. He was a star who drew thousands to watch him. His truthfulness existed in perfect equilibrium with the charisma that was there in front of us through the screens. There was nothing contrived about the aura. It was very organic, very natural, Krishna. It came from the earth he came from, right? He came from the fields of Punjab. He used to drive tractor. Even something very surprising about Dharamji at this age, also at the age of 89, he was very active on his Instagram. I used to follow him. I used to follow the posts that he used to share. He was a gym lover, very fit, how do I say, an animal lover too. And he used to often post about his water yoga, water sports, very fit at that age. He used to speak about fitness, was an open advocate about it as well. He used to drive tractors, used to post, whenever he used to go back to Punjab, to his own town, he used to drive tractors in the fields and he used to post about it on his social media as well. So the simplicity of a small town upbringing, the instinctive humility of a family-rooted Indian man was very evident with what Dharamji had to show to the world. That is why Krishna, despite being, sort of mythologized as the he-man, as the charismatic man, as Dharam Garam of Indian cinema, Dharamji's core artistic strength was his emotional stillness.
Right. So actually, as you're talking about, his charm and his good looks, wanted to remind viewers tuning in that, in the 70s, many international magazines repeatedly listed Dharmendra as one of the most attractive, one of the most desirable men in the world, comparing him to Hollywood greats like Paul Newman and James Dean. So he was always, one of the most good-looking men, not just in India, but in the world, when he was a leading man in the 70s. And, he continued acting till his last breath, till the age of 89. And his last film is set for a release next month. Sakshi, what's also important to remember is that Dharmendra did all kinds of films. He did the big mass commercial masala films. He did artistic films. He did romantic films. There was never, he broke all kinds of barriers and boundaries in the kind of cinema. Like today, when you talk of certain actors, they do only certain kind of cinema. Not many, flit between the worlds of artistic and massy cinema. But here you have one of the biggest icons in the history of Indian cinema who couldn't care less. He did all kinds of cinema, and that is, in a sense, is a lesson for many, for the entire film industry and for others looking at the film industry to learn.
Absolutely, Krishna. I call Dharamji a man with a rainbow. He has played all kind of characters. He could communicate vulnerability without any effort. He was so versatile in nature. When we speak about his filmography, you will see every kind of role. You will see him playing action. You will see him doing rom-com. You will see him in classic romantic films as well. You will, see him in proper comedy films as well. And now war drama is also coming with Ikkis, and he has played such roles in the past also. He could, his charisma and his presence was so strong in front of the camera, Krishna. He could just stand silently in a frame and move a scene more than most of the actors who used words aggressively through their dialogues, right? To understand the greatness that Dharamji got through just, merely being in front of the camera and just merely being there in any of the cast list of any of the projects, one has to see him not as the man who broke doors on screens, but basically as an actor who broke open the emotional grammar in mainstream Hindi cinema without actually drawing much of the attention to the technique which is used in the film industry. He was a man who used to speak through his eyes. He was a man who used to speak through the stillness of his facial expressions and merely by the body language. And very correctly said about him being one of the most desired men in his time. And like I, previously mentioned, how women used to frantically follow his convoy when he used to appear for, any ceremony, or he used to appear for any award functions and all. So that was the charisma and power that he used to hold, Krishna.
Absolutely. So actually stay with us. We are taking a short breather here at the stage. We'll be back with lots more on the other side. Keep watching News9.
उछलता है, दौड़ता कभी कभी दौड़ कराता है, आगे आगे बढ़ता है इंडिया, अमूल दूध पीता है इंडिया। गजब का है दिन, सोचो जरा।
यही मौका है बिजनेस को बढ़ाने का, पर पैसा।
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया है।
आप टेंशन मत लीजिए, IIFL फाइनेंस से झटपट गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाइए।
आपके जैसे सुपर हीरोज ऐसी छोटी मोटी प्रॉब्लम से थोड़ी ना रुकते हैं, इसीलिए लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे तो अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए। IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात।
जी, आपने भारत कनेक्ट का नाम सुना है?
शादी वादी कराना है क्या?
शादी नहीं, 5 लाख एजेंट्स की मदद से बिल पेमेंट्स पॉसिबल बनाते हैं।
ओ,
जैसे अभी किया।
शाबाश।
आप हमें जानते नहीं पर मानते जरूर हैं, हम हैं भारत कनेक्ट।
Eastern India's first Business and Economy Literature Fest 2025 on 20th and 21st December at Taj Tal Kutir, Kolkata.
EIILM presents Business and Economy Literature Fest. Curation and ideation partner, Storynest. Knowledge partner, Penguin. And industry partner, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Has lost an icon. It's the end of an era with the passing away of Dharmendra. Bollywood's rugged hero who has charmed audiences across generations. From his iconic performance in films like Sholay to hits like Yamla Pagla Divana, he has delivered legendary performances in over 300 films in his 6-decade-long career. Known for his unforgettable style and charisma, he remains an enduring symbol of Indian cinema. He will always be remembered. Here's presenting his remarkable journey and story across decades of cinematic excellence. Take a look.
Hello everyone, you've tuned into News 9 with me Sakshi Singh Litoria. Thank you so much for watching it. I came bearing not so good news today. Our beloved Dharmendra ji has passed away. He is no more with us, but his life is worth cherishing. So let's speak about the journey that he has lived as He-Man of the Hindi entertainment industry. Silver screens that lit up generations, few figures embodied the raw, unyielding spirit of Indian cinema, quite like Dharmendra Deol. Today, the veteran actor, affectionately known as the He-Man of Bollywood, took his last breath in Mumbai, succumbing to age-related complications after days of medical observation. At the age of 89, Dharmendra's departure marks not just the end of a storied career, but the quiet close of an era that redefined heroism on the Hindi film canvas. Like I said at the very beginning, Dharmendra ji's journey is worth remembering, worth cherishing, worth celebrating. Let me tell you about the journey that this man has lived. Dharmendra's rise to superstardom was a story worthy of the movies, a saga of grit, grace, and unrelenting passion. Born as Dharam Singh Deol back on December 8, 1935 in Sahnewal near Ludhiana, he was the third of 6 children in a humble Punjabi Jat family. From delivering milk at dawn to dreaming under starlit skies where makeshift projectors in a small town brought cinema to life, young Dharam's journey was steeped in simplicity and aspiration. That dream took flight in 1958 when a 23-year-old Dharmendra arrived in Bombay to participate in Filmistan Studios' All India Talent Contest. His charm and sincerity caught the eye of director Arjun Hingorani, who renamed him Dharmendra, symbolizing righteousness and strength, and then launched him in Dil Bhi Tera, Hum Bhi Tere in the year of 1960. The modest debut paved the way for bigger things, and soon Surat and Sirat in 1962 brought him into the Hindi film fold. The 1960s transformed Dharmendra into one of India's most bankable stars. His performance in Bandini from 1963 showcased his emotional depth, but it was Phool Aur Patthar in 1966 that crowned him Bollywood's quote-unquote he-man. As a rugged anti-hero redeemed by love, he embodied both strength and vulnerability, qualities that made him the people's hero in that era. The 1970s saw him at his peak with unforgettable turns like Sholay in 1975 as the boisterous yet endearing Viru, and in romantic dramas like Sita Aur Geeta in 1972 and Chupke Chupke in 1975 opposite Hema Malini. Their on-screen chemistry blossomed into a real-life union in the year of 1980, a relationship that weathered time and also scrutiny alike. Across decades and genres, from swashbuckling fantasies like Dharamveer in 1977 to heartfelt family tales like Dil Lagi, Dharmendra built a filmography of over 300 titles. With later roles in Life in a Metro in 2007 and Yamla Pagla Devana in 2011, he embraced age with warmth and wit, proving the hero in him never dimmed.
That's right. That is an overview of the kind of life and work that Dharmendra had in his over six decade-long career. An actor who did everything and always kept talking about the fact that you have to have gratitude for all the work that you're getting and should be willing to do all kinds of work. And that's the reason why he is loved by one and all. He is loved by his film enthusiasts and cinema buffs. He is loved by the common people who went to the movie theaters for pure entertainment. And that is the reason why today, on his passing, the entire nation is grieving the loss of an icon of Indian cinema, an integral part of the history of Indian cinema, of the evolution of Indian cinema through the decades, and a man who kept working till his last breath. Let's listen into some of the reactions coming in from those related to the film fraternity.
We are putting all these visuals on a screen, Mr. Nahata. Could you share your experience of knowing Dharmendra?
You know, he was such a wonderful human being. His screen toughness matched his soft-heartedness. So he was a rough and tough hero, the first he-man of Bollywood, but he had such a golden heart. He was so soft-hearted. Anybody who came from Punjab to struggle in the film industry, I think for all of them, Dharamji's house was the go-to place. So for months, probably even a couple of years, they could stay in his house till they were self-sustaining, till they had made a place for themselves in Bollywood. I mean, where do you get such people today? So people used to just come and make his home their home. And the large-heartedness was for all to see, because I don't think he ever told no to anybody. If you are a struggler from Punjab, you know where to go. And with open arms, he used to accept them, give them food, shelter, roof over their heads, till they made a place for themselves. So I think a lot of people from Punjab owe their journey in the film industry and owe their name and fame in the film industry to Dharamji.
And in a way, Dharmendra was also one of those who wasn't really from the industry. His father was a teacher. He is one of those who set a benchmark to say that, look, if you have talent, if you're willing to stick around over here, you can really earn the love, respect of the people in Bollywood and deliver certain hits.
Definitely. Certain hits means blockbusters. I mean, his performance in Sholay the name Sholay brings such iconic figures like Amitabh Bachchan, Dharmendra, Sanjeev Kumar, Hema Malini. I mean, all of them, Jaya Bachchan, all of them were so outstanding. And yes, you're right. By sheer dint of talent and hard work, he made such a fantastic place for himself. And he was so unassuming as a hero. He was such a wonderful person. So he was a hero in real life too, not just on screen.
And it was about his film and his craft and the blockbusters that he delivered, like you rightly mentioned, Mr. Nahata. But it was also about how he kept his family together. He was always such a family man. That is the impression and the image he has always given out. We've seen how fondly Sunny Deol, Bobby Deol and all his kids adore him, love him and remember him.
Of course. And the three of them came together in Openness. What a wonderful film it was. I think, yes, you're very right. He kept his family together. In today's age of nuclear families, for 3 generations to be living together, I think that itself is so wonderful.
Absolutely. It's important to tell our viewers that he was blessed with Bobby Deol, Sunny Deol, Esha Deol, Ahana Deol, Ajeta, Vijeta, all his kids. And he never shied away, Mr. Nahata, from bringing his family to the screens. He did movies like Apne, like you mentioned, Yamla Pagla Divana. It was also to send a message across to all those people who tried to call out nepotism in the industry.
Yes. See, because he was clean-hearted, because he was very pure as a person, he didn't bother about these things. He never even discussed these things because he knew talent is what makes people click here. I mean, his own son, Bobby Deol, for so many years, he didn't have any worthwhile roles. And then he struck back, not because he was Dharamji's son, he struck back because he reinvented himself. And what a golden innings he's having now. So this family is a shining example of, maybe you're from the film family, but if you have talent, you can make a big name for yourself.
Absolutely. But before I let go of you, Mr. Nahata, I would like to ask, what was your personal favorite movie of Dharmendra or any particular dialogue, barring from Sholay, that you remember right now?
Chupke. I loved it. I can watch it n number of times.
As Dr. Parimal Tripathi.
Yes.
But Mr. Nahata, as far as Dharmendra is concerned, he set a benchmark. There are actors who have come out in public and spoken about it, whether it is Salman Khan, whether it is Shah Rukh Khan. There are so many other actors who look up to him to say that they don't make actors like him before. Tell us a little bit about how he was looked upon by the younger generation, so-called the millennials and the Gen Z generation, how he blended. He never let that age come in the way to say that, look, I am senior.
Yeah, he had this unbelievable quality to become of the age group in which he was moving. So if he was working with youngsters, he's to be like one of them. So nobody actually was intimidated by his presence. He was so easygoing and he used to make everybody feel so comfortable that whether it was millennials, whether it was the Anil Kapoor, Jackie Shroff age, whether it was, or the Sunny Deol age group, whether it was younger than them, whether it was rank newcomers, I think everybody just adored him as a father figure. Everybody.
And that's how he's going to be remembered. He's going to live through his legacy. Always been there as a provider, always been hospitable, having a generous and being known as a large-hearted individual.
Yes.
What do we have to say about his experiments is concerned as far as his range of movies are there? Because he did certain action movies. He was also seen as a very charming actor in romantic roles. And of course, he reinvented himself for comedy movies as well.
Yes, but that was his USP. He had a rough and tough body, which made people refer to him as a He-Man, but he had such a soft and romantic face that he fitted in very well even in romantic roles. So I think he was a deadly combination of a He-Man with a soft face, a romantic face. So there was no role where he looked like fish out of water. There was nothing that didn't suit him. If it was a pure romantic role, he was lovely. Because he was such a fine actor, he shone in comedies. And of course, because of his persona, the He-Man roles, the action roles, of course, he did so well.
This is a day that we are remembering.
Now, a group of people from Chandigarh and Ludhiana who had been in Mumbai for 15 days said that they were deeply emotional and even sang Dharmendra's film songs while remembering him. Take a look at this.
हमारे साथ धर्मेंद्र के फैंस हैं जो लुधियाना से आए हैं। महिलाएं लगातार रो रही हैं। हम इन महिलाओं से बात करते हैं। आप आज रो क्यों रही यहाँ पे?
ऐसे ना दुनिया में ऐसा पैदा होगा, ऐसी शेरनी ने पैदा किया। चील जैसा कलेजा, धरती जैसा कलेजा, चील लिया उठा। ऐसा कौन सा आसमान दरख्त है जो धर्म जी को खा गया?
आप कहाँ से आई हैं? कहाँ से?
लुधियाने से, पंजाब से। आज 15 दिन हो गए बैठे। पहले भी मिल चुकी उनसे। मुझे उन्होंने बर्थडे पे मिठाई खिलाई थी, अपने हाथों से गले लगाया था। मैं दिल्ली से आई हूँ तो बहुत प्यार करती थी। एक बार तो देखने को भी नहीं मिला हम लोगों को। ऐसा तो
इस बात का दुख है कि धर्मेंद्र जी की अंतिम यात्रा नहीं निकली। ट्रक पर जो है उनका पार्थिव शरीर रखा जाना चाहिए था। फूल
रखना चाहिए था। उनके ट्रक पे हाथ लगा देते, उनकी गाड़ी पे फूलों पे हाथ लगा देते। कुछ भी नहीं मिला। मैं जैसे श्रीदेवी का किया ऐसे उनका करना चाहिए था। हाँ, राजस्थान का रामायण समझ में नहीं आ रहा इनका। फोटो भी नहीं लगाया इधर।
बिल्कुल उनका फोटो नहीं है। धर्म जी का जो उनकी अंतिम यात्रा है, उनके पार्थिव शरीर की अंतिम यात्रा है, वो लोगों को देखने के लिए लोग ललायित थे। उनके फैंस हैं यहाँ पर, पंजाब से 15-15 दिन से आके यहाँ पर बैठे हुए हैं। लेकिन धर्म जी के अंतिम संस्कार, अंतिम यात्रा का दर्शन नहीं हो पाया इनका। इसको बहुत दुख है और बहुत ज्यादा दुख होने के साथ साथ धर्मेंद्र जी का एक गाना गाना।
तुम जो चले गए तो होगी बड़ी खराबी, चलो दिल में बंद कर ले, दरिया में फेंक दे चाबी।
An outpouring of emotion in Mumbai as people descend all the way from Punjab to Mumbai. These people have been in Mumbai for the last 15 days since there was so much anxiety around Dharmendra's health, and today that grief has gripped all of them, and not just them, many across the country. And in fact, let's get into some more reactions coming in from those related to the film fraternity.
This is a day that we are remembering Dharmendra very fondly over here, remembering all the roles and movies that he had done. But over here, as one of perhaps a viewer, as a fan, how do you remember him, Mr. Murad?
It has been a very long association with Mr. Dharmendra, and I'm very fortunate I had the opportunity to work with Mr. Dharmendra in 26 movies. So it has been a very rewarding experience indeed to, know him and as a actor as well as a person. So I have a lot of memories, lot of fond memories. And he was a complete man. He was a complete man from all the aspects. A versatile actor, a very doting and disciplined father, a very friend who would protect his friends. And he was an open heart. So his achievements are just unparalleled. The amount of work which he has done, the amount of different roles which he has portrayed. And besides that, the most popular person I've ever come across in the film industry was Dharamji. So it was a rather feast to co-star with him. And he has achieved so much that I think nobody else would have
absolutely,
exactly the dizzy heights which he has covered. No one else can even dream about it. When Rajesh Khanna was at his prime, all the leading men were just, they just disappeared. But it was only Dharmendra who stood like a rock of Gibraltar in Rajesh Khanna era. He gave films consequently in a calendar year, 8 hit films in the Rajesh Khanna era. He was a man, an actor, a person par excellence. He's just incomparable. You cannot compare Dharam. An innocent man. He was a farmer, basically farmer at heart, who used to always talk about his school days, his farm in Punjab, his classmates, his teachers. He had excellent memory. He knew all his classmates by their names, and he was a very emotional person who could cry at the drop of a hat. He was so emotional person. He had a tough exterior, but from outside he was Garam Dharam, but from inside he was Naram Dharam, Naram Dil ke kaam the, very soft-hearted person. So he will be missed, and nobody can replace his achievements, his popularity. No one can. No one can see the era of 65 years which he has seen without a downfall. Unparalleled. He was unparalleled.
हाँ से शुरू करें। धर्म जी से मेरी पहली मुलाकात महाबलेश्वर में हुई थी। फिल्म की शूटिंग चल रही थी, मैं उस फिल्म में नहीं था, और मुझे वो इतनी गर्मजोशी से मिले थे, इतने प्यार से मिले थे कि उसका बयां करना मुश्किल है। इनफैक्ट धर्म जी का जो दिल था वो प्यार की खान था, जाने अनजाने दोनों लोगों के लिए। उनकी दयानतदारी की इतनी कहानियाँ सुनी हैं और इतनी कहानियाँ देखी भी हैं, इतनी हकीकतें महसूस भी की हैं कि बहुत मुश्किल है उसके बारे में शब्दों में बयां करना। He was a people's person, the most beloved person, most beloved human being on earth. Always jovial, always and shy. If you praised him, अगर आपने उनकी तारीफ की तो थोड़ा शर्म जैसे हो जाते थे, थोड़ा सा। He will not be there now. इसका कुछ लोग लगते हैं कि एटर्नल है, कभी जाएंगे ही नहीं, उनमें से थे।
And with that, it's a wrap here from my side. I'm signing off. This is Krishna Kumar signing off, but we will continue with our coverage on the other side. Keep it with News9.
मनाए दूध क्रांति के जनक डॉक्टर वर्गीस कुरियन का जन्म दिवस।
यही मौका है बिजनेस को बढ़ाने का, पर पैसा।
अपनी सुपर पावर यूज करने का टाइम आ गया है।
अब टेंशन मत लीजिए, IIFL फाइनेंस से झटपट गोल्ड लोन लीजिए और बिजनेस आगे बढ़ाइए।
आपके जैसे सुपर हीरोज ऐसी छोटी मोटी प्रॉब्लम से थोड़ी ना रुकते हैं, इसीलिए लाइफ जब भी आगे बढ़ने का मौका दे तो अपनी सुपर पावर, अपना गोल्ड यूज करिए और IIFL फाइनेंस से गोल्ड लोन लीजिए। IIFL फाइनेंस करता है सीधी बात।
Eastern India's first Business and Economy Literature Fest 2025 on 20th and 21st December at Taj Tal Kutir, Kolkata.
EIILM presents Business and Economy Literature Fest. Curation and ideation partner, Storynest. Knowledge partner, Penguin. And industry partner, the Bengal Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
Red Fort explosion. Let's get you all the updates. Following the blast, there is of course a South Indian connection of Dr. Shaheen Shahid. Because this is news of national import that search operations are underway across the entire Al-Falah University campus. The blast killed 12 people. Prices, however, of Nandini ghee have been hiked. KMF has defended Nandini is the brand. I've been getting a lot of queries on my phone. What's for the people of Karnataka? Okay, you can play tennis as much as you want to, but I'm the umpire and I will say please. There is an eyeball to eyeball confrontation. Where is this going? What is the way out? The farmers, they can actually shake a nation. Both of you down because I can also shout Prashant ji.
And now let's talk about Bihar. The ballot will tell the real tale. Usually, promises that are being made at the last minute to woo the voters. My Behan Yojana. Why Tejaswi made these three big promises? Prime Minister Narendra Modi interacted with women voters. The NDA government was the only guarantee of women's welfare in the state. Modi invoked the lawlessness that prevailed in 1990s under RJD. He said that the progress of the state during Jangal Raj was zero. Why has Congress not been able to crack? Why are they irrelevant in Bihar? What happened to the vote chori camp? What happened to the SIR camp? Are we looking at a close election victory or the margins are going to increase?
Breaking news. Major disruption is expected this week.
Yes, disruption confirmed. That's me. Relax, no scams, no scams. Just my brand new show, News Caustic with Cyrus.
What is to the nines? In literal terms, it's perfection. But to us, it's not just a phrase, it's an attitude. One that starts at your desk and sends a statement to the world. To the nines is about taking charge. It's a way of life where every scene, every fold, is crafted with excellence. It's timeless elegance and uncompromising quality made for the corner office. It's the ideas that inspire redefining order and elevating the tabletop. To the nines, for the leaders of today and the visionaries of tomorrow.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News9, English news as it should be.
Hello and good evening. You're watching News9 and I'm Samia Kapoor. A veteran actor Dharmendra Deol breathed his last today. His friends, family and fans are all in mourning. We are getting you all the updates from on ground. But first up, the headline this hour. Hindi cinema's original He-Man, legendary veteran actor Dharmendra passes away at 89 in Mumbai, leaving behind a legacy of iconic roles and timeless charm. Veteran actor Dharmendra passes away at the age of 89 from Karan Johar, Kajol, Ajay Devgan, Sunil Shetty, Akshay Kumar, Paresh Rawal to Sushmita Sen. Film industry mourns death of one of its most beloved legends. Prime Minister Modi hails actor Dharmendra as an iconic film personality and a phenomenal performer who brought charm and depth to every role. Home Minister Amit Shah also expressed a sorrow, describing Dharmendra's death as an irreparable loss to Indian cinema. Chief Minister Siddaramaiah admits a leadership change issue reached to High Command, says everyone has to agree to what the High Command decides. If the High Command says, I must continue, I will continue. HAL issues a statement, gives assurances on Tejas, says a crash was an isolated occurrence caused by exceptional circumstances with no impact on financial performance or future deliveries. Company extends its full support and cooperation to the agencies conducting the probe. Arrested protesters of controversial pollution protests brought to Patiala House Court. Delhi police says they carried posters of a dead Naxal commander, Madhvi Hidma, and when stopped from blocking the road, sprayed pepper spray on police and tried to attack them. Beloved actor Dharmendra Deol breathed his last today, and the nation mourns not just a legend but an entire era. Our He-Man, our Garam Dharam, the man who redefined handsomeness for generations, is now no more. Dharmendra, the heartbeat of Hindi cinema's golden age, passed away in Mumbai at the age of 89. A star who blended fire with tenderness. Dharmendra embodied a rare masculinity, is where the He-Man who could cry, the village avenger who spoke in poetry. His swagger was never crafted in studios. It was organic, effortless and timeless. His presence didn't just light up screens, it shaped the very idea of the Hindi film hero. We are putting all these visuals on a screen, Mr. Nahata. Could you share your experience of knowing Dharmendra?
You know, he was such a wonderful human being. His screen toughness matched his soft-heartedness. So he was a rough and tough hero, the first He-Man of Bollywood, but he had such a golden heart. He was so soft-hearted. Anybody who came from Punjab to struggle in the film industry, I think for all of them, Dharamji's house was the go-to place. So for months, probably even a couple of years, they could stay in his house till they were self-sustaining, till they had made a place for themselves in Bollywood. I mean, where do you get such people today? So people used to just come and make his home their home. And the large-heartedness was for all to see, because I don't think he ever told no to anybody. If you are a struggler from Punjab, you know where to go. And with open arms, he used to accept them, give them food, shelter, roof over their heads, till they made a place for themselves. So I think a lot of people from Punjab owe their journey in the film industry and owe their name and fame in the film industry to Dharamji.
And the several actors who have reacted, remembering and recounting all the memories that they've had with the actor. Anupam Kher also reacted to passing away of Dharmendra. Let's listen in to what he had to say.
अभी मैं गोवा से मुंबई की फ्लाइट के लिए बोर्ड कर रहा था तो मुझे धर्म जी वाली खबर सुनने को मिली। हाँ, से शुरू करें। धर्म जी से मेरी पहली मुलाकात महाबलेश्वर में हुई थी। फिल्म की शूटिंग चल रही थी, मैं उस फिल्म में नहीं था और मुझे वो इतनी गर्मजोशी से मिले थे, इतने प्यार से मिले थे कि उसका बयां करना मुश्किल है। इनफैक्ट धर्म जी का जो दिल था वो प्यार की खान था, जाने अनजाने दोनों लोगों के लिए। उनके दयानतदारी की इतनी कहानियां सुनी हैं और इतनी कहानियां देखी भी हैं, इतनी हकीकतें महसूस भी की हैं कि बहुत मुश्किल है उसके बारे में।
My colleague Jay Prakash spoke to several Dharmendra's fans who have been waiting outside the crematorium. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
हमारे साथ धर्मेंद्र के फैंस हैं जो लुधियाना से आए हैं। महिलाएं लगातार रो रही हैं। हम इन महिलाओं से बात करते हैं। आप आज रो क्यों रही यहाँ पे?
ऐसे ना दुनिया में ऐसा पैदा होगा, ऐसी शेरनी ने पैदा किया। चील जैसा कलेजा, धरती जैसा कलेजा, चील लिया उठा। ऐसा कौन सा आसमान दरख्त है जो धर्म जी को खा गया?
आप कहाँ से आई हैं? कहाँ से?
लुधियाने से, पंजाब से। आज 15 दिन हो गए बैठे।
पहले भी मिल चुकी उनसे। मुझे उन्होंने बर्थडे पे मिठाई खिलाई थी, अपने हाथों से गले लगाया था। मैं दिल्ली से आई हूँ, मैं बहुत प्यार करती थी। एक बार तो देखने को भी नहीं मिला आप लोगों को। ऐसा तो
इस बात का दुख है कि धर्मेंद्र जी की अंतिम यात्रा नहीं निकली। ट्रक पर जो है उनका पार्थिव शरीर रखा जाना चाहिए था, फूल
रखना चाहिए था। तो लगा देते उनको, उनके ट्रक पे हाथ लगा देते, उनकी गाड़ी पे फूलों पे हाथ लगा देते। कुछ भी नहीं मिला। मैं जैसे श्रीदेवी का किया ऐसे उनका करना चाहिए था। हाँ, राजस्थान का रामायण समझ में नहीं आ रहा इनका, फोटो भी नहीं लगाया इधर।
बिल्कुल उनका फोटो नहीं है। धर्म जी का जो उनकी अंतिम यात्रा है, उनके पार्थिव शरीर की अंतिम यात्रा है, वो लोगों को देखने के लिए लोग ललायित थे। उनके फैंस हैं यहाँ पर, पंजाब से 15 दिन से आके यहाँ पर बैठे हुए हैं। लेकिन धर्म जी के अंतिम संस्कार, अंतिम यात्रा का दर्शन नहीं हो पाया इनका। इसको बहुत दुख है और बहुत ज्यादा दुख होने के साथ साथ धर्मेंद्र जी का एक गाना गाना।
तुम जो चले गए तो होगी बड़ी खराबी, चलो दिल में बंद कर ले, दरिया में फेंक दे चाबी।
Filmmakers like K.C. Bukaria who have worked with Dharmendra remember him fondly. Also, there are critics who have a lot to talk about, not only the body of work, but how he held his own over generations. Let's listen in to what Girish Wankade also has to say.
वो इंडियन सिनेमा के इतिहास का एक अहम हिस्सा है और आज हम सब उन्हें खो चुके हैं।
नमस्ते जी, मैं केसी बुकारिया। मैंने और धर्म साहब ने पहली फिल्म 1976 में की थी, चुनौती। फिरोज खान, धर्मेंद्र जी, धर्म साहब और नीतू सिंह जी थी, नीतू जी थी। उसके बाद फिर हमने साथ 5 टोटल मिला के 7 पिक्चर साथ में किया। मैदान जंग, कुंदन, जुल्म और सितम। और मेरा आप जहाँ तक तजुर्बे की बात है, मैं ऑलमोस्ट सब एक्टरों के साथ काम किया, लेकिन जितना इजी और जितना मतलब इंसानियत धर्म जी में थी या धर्म साहब में थी, वो तो बच्चा फिल्म लाइन का यही बात बोलेगा, बल्कि पब्लिक में भी उनकी यही इमेज है। और बहुत से किस्से सर उनके साथ में, लेकिन सही मायने में तो हम लोग बोलते वैसी बात, देवरूपी आदमी था। वो देवरूपी आदमी ऐसा नहीं किसी को देवता का नाम किसी काम के साथ जुड़ता है। नेचर भी अच्छी थी। इतना बड़ा आदमी हो गया, जरा भी अगर कोई आके डिस्टर्ब भी करता था शूटिंग के दरमियान, तो अपने गुस्से बढ़ने से पी जाते थे और पुलिस वाले ने डांट के उसको निकालता था, तो पुलिस वालों को डांटता था, डोंट डू दैट, ये लोग हैं तो हम लोग हैं, उसको गले लगाते, उसके साथ फोटो खिंचवाते, और बस बाकी तो धर्म की असर, उनका तो कोई रिप्लेसमेंट ही नहीं है। भगवान उनकी आत्मा को शांति दे।
Please go ahead and complete your chain of thought about how he brought a family to his screen at a time when industry is often called out for nepotism.
Well, he was very much clear about the respect for the film industry. That's why he was able to launch Sunny Deol in Betab. It was a super hit. Then he was also able to launch Bobby Deol in Barsat. It took years to complete that film, but then he took the risk and launched Bobby also. So he launched their careers. Also, he started the dubbing studio, the post-production studio in the name of Sunny Super Sound in Juhu. So he knew the business, and he always knew that whatever he has made from this industry, his family will also do the same thing. So he has always encouraged Sunny Deol. That's why Sunny Deol was a huge star. And then there was Bobby Deol, who also worked in many films. And then he was the one who produced Apne, which again starred everybody. Then there was Zemla Pagla Divana. So he kept on producing films. He worked on post-production studios. He worked as a launch pads to his own family. And beside this, the entire Punjab was his family. Whoever will come from Punjab used to say कि भाई हमारा तो एक आदमी है इंडस्ट्री में, वो है धर्मेंद्र. If he has to have any help, then Dharmendra was the one who used to help them. So I think he was the man of a golden heart. That's why people still love him, and he has a great goodwill across the industry and across the fan following as well.
An actor who experienced several roles that came his way. He was open to experiments, from being an action hero to doing romantic roles to comic timings that were absolutely excellent. From Sholay to Dharamveer to Chupke Chupke, he is fondly remembered not only as an actor but for the emotional man that he was. He was a gigantic heart, is what essentially people who've known him closely have always said, who held everybody close to him as a family and also never shied away from bringing the family to the screen. He is now remembered as a legend that now is not amongst us. And now we are shifting our focus to some other stories that we are tracking, is where heavy rains continue to batter Tamil Nadu and Puducherry as a low pressure system over the Bay of Bengal intensifies. A low pressure area developing over the Strait of Malacca and the adjoining South Bay is expected to strengthen into Cyclone Senyar around 26th November, according to the IMD. Now, this will be the second Bay of Bengal cyclone this season after Cyclone Montha, which caused 2 deaths and damaged over 80,000 hectares of crops. The IMD has issued orange and yellow alerts for several southern and delta districts, warning of heavy to very heavy rain, thunderstorm and lightning. Districts including Kanyakumari, Tirunelveli, Tenkasi, Toothukudi, Kadalur, Nagapattinam, Thanjavur and Tiruvarur are among the worst hit, and waterlogging, travel disruption and SDRF deployment, especially in Toothukudi and Tirunelveli. Puducherry and Karaikal have also been pounded by intense rain since Saturday, flooding several neighborhoods. With the heaviest spell expected today, schools and in some areas colleges remain closed. Authorities have urged residents to avoid unnecessary travel and follow local advisories. Chennai remains under a yellow alert with cloudy skies, light to moderate rain and occasional thunderstorms likely. For more, let's go across to my colleague Thoya Jakshi, who's joining me live right now to get us more updates. Well, Thoya Jakshi, it appears that there is going to be Cyclone Senyar that is going to be hitting very soon. What is the preparations on ground that has been made? What are the precautions that the state has already issued?
Well, yes, Samya, it is also said that it is likely to intensify into a cyclonic storm, named Senyar, over the southeast of Bay of Bengal, which is going to, on Wednesday, that is on November 26th, as the storm is likely to move, northwestwards. A warning has been issued to very heavy rainfall in the northern and delta districts of Tamil Nadu, where it is in particular, areas where an orange and red alert has been issued for districts, including Tiruvallur, Chennai, Kanjipuram, Changalpattu, Viluppuram, Kadalur, Mayiladuthurai and Puducherry, indicating the risk of very heavy rainfall on November 29th. The public has been advised to be, conscious as the thunderstorms and strong winds are likely to occur in many places in these districts. As we also see, there is a beach in Chennai. It has also been alerted that the people are not, supposed to go towards the side. But now the fishermen who goes fishing has also been advised not to go to the sea on certain days, and people living very close to the coastal areas have also been advised to stay in safe places. It has also been informed that there is a need, there have been declared holidays for schools and colleges today in Tenkasi and Thoothukudi districts and government offices. It will be announced through a district administrator. It is also said that in this situation, the disaster management teams have also been kept ready to monitor the situation. Like we also see that heavy to heavy rains have been lashed in the city, in the district of Tenkasi, where there are several areas which is completely flooded. As you see the situation, the Tamil Nadu government has also sent the NDRF teams towards these districts to do the rescue operations. And also there are hospitals where the water has completely entered inside the hospitals, and that's creating a huge havoc in these districts, particularly the patients have been getting affected. For this also, the Tamil Nadu government is taking all kind of precautionary measures and sending the NDRF teams towards these districts and make sure that no difficult situations will occur in these districts in the coming days. As we also see on the other side, the Chennai Meteorological Department has also issued red, orange and yellow alerts in the districts of Tamil Nadu as well, Samya.
Absolutely, Thoya Jakshi. Thank you for getting us all those details. We are leaving at that for the moment, and we shall keep coming to you to get more on the story. Now, as far as the paddy procurement is concerned, that has become the major flashpoint now between the centre and the state when it comes to Tamil Nadu. Now, the Stalin government versus centre clash is only intensifying in Tamil Nadu over paddy. It's where the DMK-led Secular Progressive Alliance staged a protest against the union government for rejecting the state's request to relax moisture norms for paddy procurement. The two-day protest began in Chennai with alliance leaders dressed in white shirts, dhotis and green towels, symbolizing support for the farmers. Now, members of the Congress and the left parties joined the demonstration, accusing the centre of hostility towards farmers and urging it not to ignore the Delta region's crisis. Now, meanwhile, Chief Minister M.K. Stalin launched a strong attack on Platform X, questioning AIADMK chief Palaniswamy's silence. He said that the state increased paddy procurement and the centre is expecting a strong harvest. But the excessive rain left paddy grains wet. He criticized the opposition for blaming farmers instead of standing with them. Now, Stalin said that he asked the Prime Minister to raise the moisture limit to 22%, but the union government rejected the request. He also questioned whether EPS needed permission from his allies to support Tamil Nadu's farmers. This development comes days after Prime Minister Modi released the 21st installment of the PM Kisan scheme worth 18,000 crore for 9 crore farmers during an event in Coimbatore on 19th November, where he also inaugurated the South India Natural Farming Summit 2025.
साथियों, अभी कुछ ही देर पहले इसी मंच से हमने देश के किसानों को पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि की अगली किस्त जारी की है। देश के कोने कोने में किसानों को 18,000 करोड़ रुपए ट्रांसफर हुए हैं। यहां तमिलनाडु के भी लाखों किसानों के खाते में पीएम किसान सम्मान निधि के पैसे पहुंचे हैं। अब तक इस योजना के तहत देश के छोटे किसानों को 4 लाख करोड़ रुपए की राशि सीधे उनके बैंक खाते में भेजी जा चुकी है। ये राशि किसानों के खेती से जुड़े अनेक कामों को पूरा करने का माध्यम बनी है। मैं इस योजना के लाभार्थी करोड़ों किसान भाई बहनों को बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।
Now, meanwhile, the Kaveri Delta is facing a double whammy: inundated paddy fields and fears of fertilizer shortage. Continuous northeast monsoon rain has submerged around 5,000 hectares of paddy fields across key districts, and farmers say that the real crisis will surface once the rain stops. To revive the crop, they will need large quantities of DAP, diammonium phosphate and urea, but the ground level availability is far lower than what officials claim. Now, while the Agriculture Department says that stocks are adequate and more consignments are coming, farmers' associations argue that supplies cover only half of the required acreage for Samba and Thaladi crops. And to discuss this further, I'm joined by Mr. Kalyan Raman, who is a senior leader from the BJP Tamil Nadu. Mr. Raman, good evening. Thank you for taking our time and joining me here at News 9. I have to begin by asking you, what is the reservation against procuring these paddy crops? Because you know for a fact that the state is reeling under a terrible spate when it comes to cyclones. They are expecting more wet days ahead. Where would all this crop go, Mr. Raman?
See, we have to look at it from the very scientific point of view rather than just rhetoric as being done by the DMK. Let us look at it from the perspective. 17% moisture is an acceptable level for any paddy procurement. That is already fixed by the central government. And when the state government asked for more volume to be procured because there is a bumper crop, the central government had indeed agreed for it. Okay. On top of that, there was yet another concession given that from 5% of broken or sprouted or discolored paddy, from 5% to 7%, the central government has accepted. That is, that becomes a norm now once these issues have come up. Okay. Where the failure had occurred, to begin with, let us understand that there are multiple areas where the failure had occurred. Number one is that the state government of Tamil Nadu did not improve upon the drying facilities, knowing fully well that the harvest happens during the monsoon time, and hence adequate drying facilities must be created. It is a golden rule. The states like Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, they all have developed drying facilities comfortably well. But only the state of Tamil Nadu has not been doing it properly. Number one. Number two, there has been another very, very serious issue. That is, the state government had given the contract for transportation of all the paddy in the hands of one company, which is having 3 different branches, 3 different names. I'm not naming them for obvious reasons. But then, by paying at least 3 times more the value of transportation from point A to point B.